and enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends 5/21. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Man, that's on cue. San Diego and Southern California was going on hour one. Schaefer and Sliwa on this gorgeous Monday afternoon in America's finest city from Rancho Penasquitos. We are at Naughty Barrel hanging out from 3 to 6. We would love for you, not you, Alan, you're already here.
I'm already here.
We would love for our listeners or viewers today to come by at some point this afternoon because it's a spectacular day. We're outside. Look at this. All the televisions. You're going to have NBA action on, Major League Baseball. I know the Padres are off, but this is a great spot to spend an afternoon.
Beautiful, beautiful day out here. Is this not? Yeah, this is how we roll in San Diego. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Only good weather, only good spots. Good to be here. You have some event tied to San Diego State a little bit later.
I do.
But, obviously our show for the time that we're here, 3 to 6 p.m., plenty of time to come hang out. And you said they got a location. I think you mentioned in downtown.
Market, yeah.
So if you're familiar with that one, you know the vibe that you can get up here. Again, if you're in the area, Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitos.
Yeah, so come join us. We'll be here until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee, Padres Insider, on his way from Milwaukee, joins us this afternoon at 3:30. Sean Lewis, Offspring Football, Aztecs third-year head coach, will join us at 5 p.m. Of course, we start with what played out this weekend.
Yep.
Down at Petco Park. As late as Friday night, the Padres had lost the first 2 games of their Cardinals series. And on Friday, of course, you had the lowest of the lows, the moment that Fernando Tatis Jr. had in right, where the ball went under his glove for a Little League grand slam. He then left the ballpark and didn't speak with the media.
So that, by the way, separate conversation, but let's go back to that.
We will. But from there, Alan, to back-to-back wins, actually Tatis had a plunk of a base hit Saturday. It was basically the difference. And then, of course, yesterday, Castellanos ties it with 2 outs in the 9th. Manny wins it on a sac fly. The Padres set a franchise record for fewest hits ever in a 4-game series. They've been around since 1969.
Yep.
And they haven't won every World Series. So, they've had some tough, lean series over the years. They had 14 hits in the series, and they won 2 of the 4 games. They're 24-16, tied for first place. The general question is, how on earth is this happening? And credit to them at the quarter point of being 24-16 somehow.
Here's a question you got to keep asking yourself. Is it a good thing that they're sitting at 24-16, 8 games over 500, keeping pace with all the teams in the NL, keeping pace with the Dodgers in the NL West? Is it a good thing that you're 8 games over 500 and your stars have been absolutely awful, or is it more of this wake-up call of this is not sustainable? You're going to be sitting here a month from now, and if you're 8 games over 500, maybe that's going to be 4 games over 500, that if your hope is to obviously not just make the postseason, but see if you can make some noise in the postseason, are you encouraged that we're sitting here basically a quarter through the season and these guys haven't got going? And I could tell you this. You can get into they can play a 5-game set in the playoffs, and they could lose 10-3 and 12-0. But if they win 2-1, 3-2, and 3-1, you advance to the next round. But it's obviously you're playing with fire here, and I think there's going to come a point where either these guys are delivering, or they're going to start getting some L's that are going to be stacking up.
Right. Can we count on, you just reminded me of the 1960 World Series between the Pirates and the Yankees, where the Pirates won the World Series, and in the Yankees' 3 wins in the 7-game series, they won 10-0, 12-0, and 16-3. They lost the series.
Which one do you want?
I'll take winning the World Series, even if the 3 games that you lose are by 10 runs. You made an interesting analogy with me earlier I want you to make for our listeners about the idea that what you've done is great, but can you sustain it? And I've been thinking to myself, how do you conceptualize this? How do you break this down as this continues to play out? You had an interesting analogy when it comes to just going into a casino and winning.
Well, let me emphasize this. There's nothing at the end of the day. They're 8 games over 500.
Yeah, which counts.
And anybody that you ask coming into the season, I know they were 8 games through the first 30, whatever it was. So, they started out, what were they?
They were 19-9 at their best.
19-9. That's right. 19-9 was their best. Let's not. I think what we're not trying to do, and I don't want the conversation to lean this way, that we're not giving the Padres credit.
Right.
I think it does say something that you could find a way to grind out a win that you're not supposed to win.
Sure.
I think it does say something that you can win these close games. What did they say? Good teams find ways to win. Bad teams finds way to lose. And I think the Padres have done a phenomenal job there. But, yeah, we were joking around. We're having the conversation. It's like me going to a casino, and you're working a 9 to 5, and you got your money in your 401k, and you know what you're you know how much you're making every 2 weeks, everything else. And I'm sitting here telling you, I'm like, man, I'm on a heater at the casino. And you're like, okay. I'm like, I think I'm going to quit my day job because this casino thing is just working out great.
Right. And
you're probably saying to yourself, yeah, that's not a good idea. That's not a good game plan. That's not sustainable. You got to think big picture, this and that. I think with the Padres, there's some luck involved in what they're doing. I don't think you could truly explain it. I mean, some of their offensive numbers are literally the worst in Major League Baseball. I don't know what their run differential is today. We could look that up.
+3.
+3 run differential. I mean, clearly, if they're going to keep winning games at this pace, and if they're going to hang with Atlanta and Chicago and the Dodgers and some of these other squads, you're going to eventually have to score runs. You're eventually going to have your offensive statistics are going to have to be much better. But they did go through 4 games against the Cardinals where they could have easily got swept, and they ended up grinding out 2 of them.
Yeah, it's just I'm with you. It's like you do give the credit. And the amazing thing is, like, they've had a clutch gene, dude. I think they have 12 wins trailing in the 7th inning or later. That's a massive number. They have 24 wins overall. Yesterday, completely left for dead, they come out of nowhere and win 3-2 in 10 innings. And it's Nick Castellanos. Let's hear from, we have Nick Castellanos. What do you have to say post-game? We have Craig Stammen answering the question of how are the Padres doing this. Let's start with Craig Stammen. I mean, the question is, how are the Padres doing this to Craig Stammen?
Good question. I think we got good players that rise to the occasion, which is kind of fun to see. It's a gene that you can't teach, but some of our guys have it, definitely. And they thrive in those situations when the energy is a little higher. They're able to calm down and do what they do best.
In one of those situations by one of your calmest players, that at bat by Nick, what can you say?
Man, for him adjusting to a different role, not playing every day, and it being difficult for him, and us having a lot of conversations about that, and then him kind of embracing it a little bit here over the last couple of weeks, and then coming up with a big hit, just sticking with it, trusting us a little bit, in that, and then believing in himself too, that he's, still a really good baseball player, and he is, and to be able to take a pitcher like that, O'Brien, who's really, had a nasty year so far, he is a nasty pitcher, and to hit a 2-run homer down to your last strike is pretty amazing.
Real quick on that, Alan.
Yeah.
The pitcher that he homered off isn't just some slouch,
No,
right? The closer
stud.
for the Cardinals.
Yep.
Listen to this. He had the longest streak in baseball without allowing a home run. Think about that. He had the longest streak in baseball, 59 and 2/3 innings. You'd have to go back to June 9th of last year.
Wow.
The last time he allowed a home run. A sinker ball pitcher that gets ground balls. Xander started the inning to his credit with a well-placed single, and then Castellanos with 2 outs, 2 strikes, down 0-2, Toddy's bat. Yep. We can get into. And again, that's where you're like, hey, they got something going here. Yeah, they got something going.
That's a good way to put it, because I think I listened to Castellanos a little bit. I know we'll get to it, but he had said something that this is a team that and I think there's value in this. He's talking about how the culture for the Padres, that they are rooting for each other, that they do feel like they're kind of pulling that rope in the same direction, that there is a little bit of, hey, we're not, just because we're going into the ninth and you're down 2-0, they're not talking about the next game and everything else. Like, they're still kind of locked in.
Sure.
They've given themselves, I think if you're a Padre fan out there, the one thing that you can't question is, do the Padres have the ability to come back when they're down? Do the Padres 7th inning on, how many different comebacks that they have? They've had that. Now, maybe most of that was earlier in the season. Now, we're only a quarter through, but you had to span through, I think, that first 30 games where it's like, came back from the Red Sox down 4-0, came back from the Seattle down 6-0, had the Xander grand slam, had the Sheets walk-off 3-run homer. Like, you had these just the Jackson Merrill down the line. yeah, all these moments. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, they've had so many moments in such a short period of time. The Castellanos one was a little bit more dramatic than we've seen in a while. And the fact that it came from him, I think there's something to what you said. Like, sometimes, again, there are a lot of teams out there, I'm sure. There's probably one or two right now in baseball that every chance they get to lose, they find a way to lose. Padres have been on the other side of that. There is something about that. I don't know what it means. I mean, I'd like to sit here and tell you that they don't have to come down to the ninth inning, 2 outs, or what was the game? They played the first game against the Cardinals in the 4-game set. They lose 2-1. And we're complaining about, why'd you take Michael King out in the 7th? Well, somebody could say, why don't you score more than 1 run?
Yeah, that's more of the and that's still a conversation out of Saturday and Sunday. Let's hear from Nick Castellanos. This was in the clubhouse after the game. The amazing part of the story was that Castellanos didn't even use his own bat to hit the game-tying home run with 2 outs there in the 9th, trailing 2-0. Listen to this.
You broke your bat earlier, and it took a little bit to get one out there. Was that actually your other bat that they tossed out to you?
No, I didn't have another bat in the dugout.
Which bat did you use?
Toddy threw me his bat.
So is that what you're pointing at in the dugout, walking down, saying thanks to the loaner?
You talking about after it was done?
Yeah, you got down the line, got a point in the dugout. Was it thanks Toddy for the loaner on the bat?
Oh no, that was just pointing to like the group, like Tayin. You know, we're in this.
Do you guys have similar size, style bat?
I don't know. I haven't really even looked at like the length and weight and stuff yet. I'm assuming usually bats are like 33 to 34 inches, 30 and a half to 31 and a half ounces. So probably in there somewhere, but to be honest, I really didn't look.
Are you going to let him do the end of it that you hit a home run with this bat before he did?
That's rude.
So there was that too, where Derek Togerson from NBC7 tried to make a joke about Toddy not having homered yet this year, and Nick Castellanos said absolutely none of it, which, of course, how could he as his teammate, and why would he? But it was interesting to hear the perspective about, he just gave me a bat. I have no clue about length or weight. I took it, and I homered with it. That's incredible.
Well, I will tell you this. I mean, that question to Castellanos, you and I can joke around it, and have the conversation, because there is, I mean, it is kind of ironic. It's like, what do you mean of everyone's bat? If it was like Xander, you'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. Xander's is this. The fact that it was Tatis's bat, I mean, if Castellanos is sitting right here, we're probably not asking him that question. No. But I get what he was trying to say. Obviously, it didn't come off the right way. That's just another layer to the story. He breaks his bat. He doesn't have another bat. He doesn't know the ounce. He doesn't know the way. He has no idea whose bat. Yep. Just Tatis says, hey, use this one. And he hits a home run using Tatis's bat.
Just insane. All right, we'll hear from Manny Machado, though, on this struggling offense. Machado is hitting 191, but he had the game-winning sac fly yesterday in the 10th inning. Plus, Kevin Acee will join us from Milwaukee as the Padres get ready for the Brewers coming up tomorrow, game 1 of a 3-game series. Sean Lewis will join us at 5. J.D. Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, will join us at 5:30. This is Schaefer and Sliwa from Naughty Barrel Rancho Penasquita. Stay with us here on San Diego Sports 760 and live on the iHeartRadio app.
That's rude.
Schaefer and Sliwa out here from Naughty Barrel Rancho Penasquitos here until 6 p.m. Spectacular day. It's probably 75 to 80 degrees out.
We're in the shade. It's a little chilly.
No, it's not. You're kidding, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying San Diego. I'm more of a 77 guy. You know what I mean?
I think it's gorgeous. I think you're kidding. You're kidding. It is spectacular. So you can join us. We're going to be out here until 6 p.m. Kevin Acee will join us in about 12 minutes. There's a lot to react to. Again, the wins over the weekend, the Tatis play from Friday night. We'll get into that in a moment. I do want to hear from Manny Machado, though, because he acknowledges, I don't even think it's an elephant in the room. It's just in the room. He's hitting 191. The struggles of the offense continue. Here was Manny on the struggles yesterday.
Yeah, it sucks. We need a hit. Yeah, we need a hit.
So even on a day like today, you're kind of thinking about that a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, look, man. I mean, it's obvious. We're not hitting. It's obvious, but we're getting things done, man. Offensively, whatever it is, getting guys over, bunting guys over. Getting situations today. I mean, we left 7 on. I left 4 of them on myself. It could have been a completely different game if I had 2 opportunities there with 2 outs to get a hit. And shrink that lead, which we need to do if we want to get to where we want to get to. So, but overall, I mean, we're getting the job done. And that's all that matters. At the end of the day, it's about winning ball games, and we're doing that.
Isn't that interesting? Like, he weighs everything we're weighing, which is like, we can't hit, but we're winning, and we recognize we can't hit.
I respect the honesty right there.
Yeah.
Because what he's not doing is he's not hiding from anything.
Right.
He's not, trying to – he could have came in – let's just say hypothetically. He's like, are you guys really talking about that? I mean, look, we're posting W's, and isn't that all that matters? I think that was a very honest assessment, probably much easier for him to have an honest assessment after they come back the way they did, and he gets the sac fly to win the game, and Laureano comes in from third. Like, I think – but I like that acknowledgement. And I think what he said, probably the most important thing, and we all know this, if we are going to get to where we want to get to,
we have to hit.
Got to hit.
No doubt.
So there's a lot of times, I mean, you can get a BS answer. That's not a BS answer. Like, whether you love Manny Machado, whatever it is, that was, I thought, a very well thought of, honest conversation with the reporters about where the Padres are. And let's go back to what he also said. We're winning. And at the end of the day, that's what they are doing. I think our biggest question is just the sustainability of it. But you go look at the best teams right now in Major League Baseball, and you go look at what their records are, and the Padres are hanging with all of them. Now, do you like the way they've played over the last couple of weeks? No. Do you like the way, since they had that, I think, 7-1, 7-2 lead in Mexico City against the Diamondbacks, the second game, the back-to-back, where they end up giving up 12 runs or whatever it was. Since that moment, it has not been the same team. But I remember when the month started, we had some promos that were running. You and I were talking about, I'm like, I'll take a 500 month in the month of May. Like, you're not always going to play 8 games over 500 or 10 games over 500. They're sustaining it. I mean, whether you love it or not. I mean, listen, I'm the worst when it comes to watching, especially the Padres. They're down 2-0 in the ninth. I've already watched Walker Buehler give up the 2-run homer. I've already watched what I would consider bad baseball. I'm like, I'm out. Like, I don't want to watch the rest of this. They found a way to win.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they were 8 games over 500 going into May. They're 8 games over 500 right now, heading towards the middle of May.
Yeah.
Now, also this weekend, the Tatis story is such an interesting one because unlike Manny, who's hitting 191, Tatis is actually getting on base at like a 340 or 350 clip. He's been hitting in the 250s. He had a clutch hit. He basically had the game-winning hit on Saturday in their win.
Yeah.
But on Friday, in that blowout loss, and it all stemmed from that 1 6-run inning against Griffin Canning, of course, Tatis had this moment that if you're a Padres fan, you've already seen. The ball goes under his mitt all the way to the wall with the bases loaded. It's a little league grand slam, right? It's as bad as it gets. It doesn't get worse than that in the major leagues. They get shut out. Afterwards, he doesn't speak with the media. Now, he did address it Saturday, the next day. It felt like a low point for Tatis, although I will say this in baseball, it can get worse. I mean, he's 40 games without a home run. They've got 120-something games. You don't know what happens next. But we were saying, man, when's he going to homer? It can't be this bad all year. And then you had a moment like that you've never seen for Fernando Tatis Jr., and honestly, you don't see in the major leagues.
Yeah, back to the being honest, right? Like, that was his lowest moment of the season. How can it not be?
Right.
You're already going on the streak where you can't you can't hit a home run. This is the longest stretch in your entire career of not hitting a home run.
Right.
And then here you are against the St. Louis Cardinals. The bases are loaded. And literally it is a little league play. And the ball goes all the way to the wall. And is he sprinting the way he should be sprinting in that situation, in that moment? I don't think he is.
No, I don't think so.
They end up losing that game 6-0. That's the lowest moment of his season. Now, hopefully, that is the lowest of the low,
yeah,
right?
Exactly.
And like as we kind of sit here, like you said, he had a clutch hit for them and helped obviously get the win on Saturday, the 4-2 win. Hopefully moving forward, it's like that. It's always interesting with the reporter stuff, right? And this happens. This is not uncommon. I see it in the NBA. We see it in Major League Baseball. He didn't address the media on Friday. Okay, he's going to eventually have to address the media,
right.
even if you don't do it on Friday, as long as you address it on Saturday. But let's not pretend like it didn't happen. Obviously, he didn't. And, of course, everybody knows that it did happen, so it is what it is. Tatis has had some low moments this year, and we were talking about it on Friday. I'm like, remember I was telling you I was in OB and I saw the El Nino and I'm like, where's that Tatis? Where's that? It was just it was a mural.
Yep.
I'm like, where's that swag of Tatis? We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it's been interesting to watch. I mean, for him to go 40 games without hitting a home run is truly unbelievable, is what I would say. If anyone, I remember saying probably 9 games in, oh, he hasn't homered? And that conversation has continued now for weeks upon weeks upon weeks.
I hate it. It's so played out, and we don't have a choice.
I know, to the point where yesterday people are talking about his almost home run that would have been out of 12 out of 30 ballparks that he thought he got, and so did I, to deep left center field, and it hung up and died on the warning track. It's like you can't escape it until you escape it, right? Like until you homer, I'll move on to the next topic.
I'm with you.
He hits 2 at the end of May, whatever. He hasn't hit that,
shut the hell up about it. I'm with you.
But at some point you got to hit him.
But you can't not talk about it.
Yeah,
like it's impossible not to. And if there are, I see a lot of people, and it's all good. People, Padre fans want to defend him and this and say, you know what, he needs encouragement now, this, that. Guys, we could be honest with each other. Like, let's not all pretend that when you're a player of Tatis's caliber, when you're a franchise player like he is. By the way, I put Machado in this category as well, batting 191 like you were talking about. You make this much money. That's what comes with the territory. And the way they could shut us all up and get everybody back on their sides is go out there and have great individual performances. But here's what I'll give both of those players. Their squad is still winning. So the fact that they're still winning, they're not 8 games below 500. They're 8 games over 500.
It's one of their best 40-game stretches to start a season ever at 24-16 right now in 2026. We'll talk to Kevin Acee from Milwaukee. Padres and Brewers playing game 1 coming up tomorrow afternoon. So Kevin Acee will join us on the other side. His thoughts on the 24-16 Padres. We're broadcasting live from Knotty Barrel here in Rancho Penasquitas here until 6 p.m. Come swing by on this gorgeous Monday afternoon here on Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Anderson Plumbing, Heating, and Air. The Padres have an off day today, but they start a series in Milwaukee tomorrow. It's going to be against the Brewers. Its first pitch is set for 4:40. In NBA news, Wemby is going to avoid a suspension for his elbow on Naz Reid last night, and he will be eligible to play in Game 5. And the Bucks have made it official. They are seeking trade offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And we got a couple Game 4s in the NBA playoffs tonight at 5 o'clock. We got Pistons at Cavs. And then right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 7:15, we got Lakers Thunder Game 4. Choosing the right home service company isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about trusting who's in your home. That's why homeowners count on Anderson for friendly professional service that keeps everything running right. Visit AndersonPHA.com.
Let's catch up with our Padres Insider Kevin Acee. I think this is the right word, a truly unbelievable weekend for the Padres against the Cardinals, where they earned the split. There was the craziness of Friday night. They had just 14 hits, a franchise record for the fewest hits in a 4-game series, yet they earn a split. I think, Kevin, you asked Craig Stammen post-game yesterday the question I'm going to ask you, which is, how do you explain the overall record, a .600 winning percentage of 24-16, but some of the paltriness that we've seen play out with this offense for the better part of all 40 of these games?
You know, I want to give the pitching staff credit, even though the ERA, right, isn't great, right? And there's some other things that aren't great, blown leads and inherited runners. But somehow when they've needed them to, be it keep the scoring low, keep a deficit where it's at, I just got to say, I got to figure out a way to quantify it, but the pitching staff has come through, say like yesterday, right? Yeah. I mean, the Cardinals had 3 hits. I mean, is it 3 or was it 5? Anyway, whatever. They scored in 1 inning, and it was on 2 consecutive hits, and that was it. Marinaccio, Rodriguez, Estrada, Morejon, and that has happened again and again. So I don't think that's getting enough credit. And then obviously they're not the timeliest hitting bunch, at least early in games, but then they are at the end of games. They are in some ways the most timeliest of hitters in the major leagues. So they're the cardiac kids, but they're not kids. They're one of the oldest teams in the majors. So maybe that's it. The experience and all these things that they're saying about chemistry and resilience. I think some of it's true. I don't know what it will mean 80 games in, and most importantly, 162 games in. How can they keep it up? Be very interesting to get through this next quarter of the season and see. But I think it's just a combination of, I left out good luck, good fortune. So it's all those things.
Yeah, Kevin, St. Louis had 3 hits yesterday. So, yeah, you were right on
3.
that.
That's what I thought.
So I guess this is my question, because I think we're all in the same boat. And it's, how much do we just sit back and say, hey, Padres have one of the best records in Major League Baseball. They're hanging toe-to-toe at least through a quarter of the season against the Dodgers and some of these other great teams in the NL. And how much is this like, it's one of those, Kevin, it's kind of funny. It's like, they say just enjoy the moment, but typically our mind is going off and we're trying to find something to worry about. Like, how much do you think you just enjoy where the Padres are sitting right now and how they got to this point? How much do you just have this alarm going off in the background saying, yeah, but I just don't know if this thing is going to last?
Yeah, it's funny. I don't feel like the alarm is going off in the background for the media, the fans. I feel like it's like this thing that's preoccupying us. And I mean, I don't know, far be it for me to tell anybody how to be a fan or enjoy fandom or whatever. I mean, that just seems like it's kind of my job, right? It's kind of your job. And I guess it's how a lot of fans like to react. What can go wrong with my team? I don't think it's exclusive to Padres fans. I think there's a waiting for the other shoe to drop for those of us who've lived in town for a long time. So yeah, how much? I mean, I wish I could just enjoy it and be sitting there and going, hey, I just know that Nick Castellanos is going to come through on the 9th pitch of an at-bat. But the reality is they're not playing very well most of the time. So I think we all, including fans, are justified to have that alarm going off. Now, it's up to you where you choose how loud that alarm is and how much you're going to enjoy the moment. My worry for all of us, right, would be that this team wins the World Series and we spent the whole season worrying it away right up until like Game 7. But then I guess the parade will feel really good. I don't know.
It's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah, no doubt. Kevin Acee is our Padres Insider. He's with us right now on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. Kevin, could you put in perspective or context Fernando Tatis Jr.'s moment on Friday? It's been obviously a fascinating first 40 games for him. He's had some moments, including on Saturday. I thought he had a great at-bat yesterday in that win, by the way, before Manny Machado walked off with the sac fly. But I think you wrote it in the story about the fact that he wasn't available to the media on Friday. He had left. Now, he did speak with the media on Saturday. Was it atypical what played out there with Tatis on Friday in terms of not being available, or will that occur with players over the course of a year?
Well, it will occur over the course of the year, and I can't tell you 100% for certain that he ducked out because of, didn't want to talk about it. I would understand that, and I am prone to give Fernando Tatis Jr. a pass on certain nights. Do I wish he was there? Do I think he should be? Sure. But Fernando Tatis Jr. is one of the guys who's sitting at his locker and willing to answer questions virtually every night. And that's somewhat rare in that clubhouse among the superstars. And so, or that you don't at least have to wait them out forever. So I'm willing to give him a pass on that in terms of, making any sort of big deal out of it. Now, do you need to be mentioned? Sure. Yeah, because people are looking in the story or waiting for the radio or whatever to hear what Fernando had to say, and he wasn't available to say it. Now he addressed it the next day, and he knew that he would have to. He, again, I'll give him a pass too because he's freaking human, and this has just been, a rough go for him.
Kevin Acee taking some time to join us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa Show. Kevin, quarter through the season, and we've talked about it, and I'm sure you're spending a lot of time on it as well. You're 8 games over 500. You're 24-16. They're the obvious ones of, hey, you want to see them hit more. You want to see their slug, and hopefully they get some health with their pitching rotation. But as we get through the next quarter of the long 162 game grind, are there one or two things that maybe aren't being talked about that you'd like to see? It could be individual players. It could be just curious if there are some storylines for you that maybe aren't getting enough attention.
They've got to do better giving their back end guys a break. Mason Miller and Adrian Morahone are on pace for, an astronomical number of appearances, which just won't happen, which means that there will be times you can't use them when you need to, if you need to use them all the time. And that was the same as last year. Look, Adrian Morahone was on pace for like 88 games at this point last year, and it's 78 this year, I think. So, it happened last year too. And obviously Mason Miller wasn't here, but Robert Suarez was on pace for us, and Jason Adam. And Jason Adam and Jeremiah Estrada have pitched far less than they had at this point last year. But of course, they were on the injured list, so that means you got to be careful with them. So it's just that gosh, man, like they've won a few games by 4 runs or 3 runs, but that's because they walked it off. Right. And so they had already had to pitch Mason Miller and or Jason Adam and or Adrian Morahone. They pitched Mason Miller that one time in Pittsburgh because they scored 4 runs in the 9th inning and he wanted to pitch in Pittsburgh. And that's awesome. But it adds up, right? They used them for a few 4-run to protect 4-run leads. So it'd be great to blow some people out, or like happened, fortunately, for Mike Schilt at times last year. They got blown out. And so he was able to give his bullpen rest. So that's something that you'd like to see happen sooner than later, so that you're not at the end of the year going, well, okay, see, Estrada and Morahone are going to be available tonight, and then Adam and Miller the next night, and we just have to hope that it straightens out after that. And, you just can't do that. So the obvious, you want me to stay away from the obvious because it's just, wow, how long can this go on? And we could break it down a bunch of different ways, fastballs, overall, whatever. But Tatis and Machado, yikes. So there's got to be that. Walker Buehler, I would say all the starting pitchers trending in the right direction. I don't know that Randy's gone back to a little bit of Strandy Vasquez, a tiny bit, but he's very effective. But I would say that when I say trending in the right direction, Mike King and Walker Buehler are trending to where you're like, okay, all right, and especially Michael King, but even Walker Buehler, all right, he's going to give you a chance to win today, and I think that's huge. And then of course Lucas Giolito, I think we see Saturday or Sunday. That would be him coming back and having the kind of year he did last year for the Red Sox. That'd be huge.
Made his final rehab start, could join the Padres, as you acknowledged there, this weekend in Seattle. Final one for me, Kevin, is you touched on, and we spent so much time on Tatis. We've talked about Machado as well. I think I referenced with you last week. It was sometime in June of 2024 where he called himself out. He was so frustrated in Philadelphia. Yeah. I'll figure this out if it's the last thing I do. How close are we to another one of those? On one hand, they're winning. And I heard him, though, with you yesterday, with the media. He sounded very frustrated. I'm looking at his May numbers. 4 for 37 this May. That is incredible out of a player of Machado's caliber. Are we at almost like a boiling over moment for Machado in terms of turning himself around at the plate right now?
Yeah, we could be. It's interesting. Certainly we could be. I'll give him credit as if, it's easy for people to say, well, what else is he going to say? Well, not everybody does. And sometimes Manny doesn't. But this year, that wasn't the first time yesterday where he's called himself out, deservedly so. And so, I guess we could be. But he was very frustrated in 24, obviously, because of the injury.
Right.
I don't know what's going on this year. I don't think he's entirely 100%. I don't. But he never is. So I don't know the extent of that. You know what I mean? They haven't given him a day off like they said they were going to after that. It was the first one, right? I think that's the only one he's got. I've got a note to myself to check today.
Right.
I think Manny could be, he should be at a boiling point pretty soon. Not that I'm saying you got to get mad, to start hitting, but, something's got to change here, guys. We're not all back to the original, Alan, we're not all overreacting here. I mean, I don't know if you saw my stat today. The first team in the history of baseball to have as good a record as they do and as bad an average and OPS through 40 games. In history, the only team to be 24-16 or better after 40 games and suck this bad on offense.
We've broken a record. Kevin, final one for me. Just quick follow-up on that you were talking about Manny. I don't know if I understood it correctly there, but is he different? Is he a little bit different in some of these? I think you were mentioning just the accountability for himself. Is that what you were referencing to? Just his conversations with reporters? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's been accountable a few times, and then as he should be, and he generally is when things go bad, but sometimes he's not. Manny's also not always available, but when he is, I tell people this all the time. I mean, as a reporter, and as a reporter who's, I consider my main job as a conduit to the fan. I love covering Manny because when you do get him, he's generally pretty insightful, and when he's in the mood, can give some real insight on himself. Now, when he's in the mood is rare, but I don't think this is terribly unusual.
Yeah, that the piece, and we played it a little bit earlier. Obviously, everyone's interaction with yes. I just thought it was not that I don't always hear it, but I thought it was very refreshing. He's obviously going at himself, so hopefully some of that accountability ends up turning into better batting average and home runs for him as well this year.
I mean, if he hits 191 this year. He ain't hitting 191 this year.
John's reference, and John references it a few times here recently because that was a heart to heart that day, June 18th, 2024 in Philadelphia. I believe it was the 18th and the 19th is when he started to go off basically for the rest of the season. That was different. That was I'm just gonna, I don't care. I'll saw my elbow in half. Put it back together with glue if I have to. He was down and pissed and frustrated. That was different.
Yeah, no doubt. Kevin, appreciate you taking time for us.
Thanks,
We will
Kevin.
catch up with you from Milwaukee later in the week.
Right on. Take care.
All right, so we referenced the Padres at the quarter-way point. We'll take a look at them at the quarter pole on the other side. Plus, the wrap is coming up at 4 p.m., and Sean Lewis, Aztecs head football coach, will join us at 5, and J.D. Wickers, San Diego State's athletic director, joining us at 5:30, plus a great giveaway for you this afternoon. Stay with us, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. You should have went Saturday. You get it tonight for $90. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. Sean Lewis, Aztecs head football coach, will join us at 5 p.m. J.D. Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, will join us at 5:30. We're at Naughty Barrel here, Rancho Penasquitos. It is a spectacular day. We're broadcasting live until 6 p.m., so swing by, hang out. We're outside on the deck here on a gorgeous afternoon. About to order food, right?
Just got the full menu here.
Yeah.
What are you
thinking?
Where do you go on it?
Oh, this is easy for me. This
Where
is
do you
easy.
go? Lettuce?
No, I'm going the full smash burger, tri-blend beef patty, American cheese, bacon, brioche.
I want to hear your order
Yeah.
because I have a feeling you'll be like, I'll take some lettuce
blackened
and an avocado.
blackened ahi salad. You might say, well, hold on, are you a vegan? How do you eat fish? I'm a pescatarian, so fake vegan.
It's
and
good salad.
It sounds really good.
Perfect.
So that's what I'm going to do.
All right.
What are you going to do?
Well, I ate about an hour ago. You watched me.
You had sushi, though. That
I did
doesn't
have some
count.
sushi.
That doesn't count.
Okay, of what's in the starters, where do I like? I have this thing where every time I go, not every time, but for the most part, it's really tough for me to gloss over one of the items on the starters. Which one do you think it is?
On the starters,
Where I just kind of have to order. It's not a good.
Okay, so there's
good.
Brussels sprouts. No, there's wings. I don't think you're going to go there.
Okay.
There's poke stack, ahi poke. You're not getting that.
Okay.
Italian sausage flatbread. I'll say no. I'll say sausage trio.
Why would you think so? How many? There's only one that's like the usual that you'd put there. Wings. I gotta think, man. If I
Wait, is it wings?
Oh yeah.
Why did I paint you with the sausage trio brush? Because the way you said it was like, man, if it's on a menu, I have to get it.
But the only item on the menu would be like, oh, then it must be wings. And you went sausage trio. And the way you disrespectfully said no to the ahi poke stack. Like ahi poke stacks are delicious.
Well, you were telling me that it's like you're like, I can't stay away from it. Like it's naughty. Like there's nothing naughty about the ahi poke stack.
No, I meant like it's delicious, you know?
So it's wings.
So wings, yeah, wings.
Are you gonna get them?
Wings, yeah.
Do you go like the crazy like hot temperature?
No, nothing.
You know what? We're on the air, and they want. You know, what? I'm going to order while we're on the air.
Yeah,
I'm going to order while we're on the air.
Yeah.
You know, I was just complimenting the blackened ahi
Guy's got
salad.
a great Padre hat on. I mean, he's good to go.
I'm going blackened ahi salad.
All right, I'm going the naughty wings.
Naughty wings.
Let's go.
Let's
go
guys?
Traditional buffalo. Can I do like a half and half? Traditional buffalo and lemon pepper. Let's go. We're done.
When you said naughty wings, I was kind of like, is that a play on like, are they kind of naughty also? But it's naughty for Naughty Barrel.
Sure.
Padres at the quarter point of their season are pacing for, I did the math wrong earlier. They're pacing for 97 wins. They've won 24 times in one quarter of their season, times it by 4.
Hate to break it to everybody here.
Yeah.
They're not going to end up with 97 wins.
They're going to end up with more.
Probably a little less.
A little less. Okay,
a few less.
So, okay, but that's a good jumping off point because we're saying that what they're doing to this point, you just confirmed it. You're saying, in your opinion, it's not sustainable. You said it.
I mean, clearly it's not. Like, let's be real with each other. And again, we go back to the offensive numbers. You can't. Let me see if I could pull this up. I had it all written down here. Give me 2 seconds to find it. I'll throw this back your way. Okay, if I shared these stats with you, you tell me. Obviously, you can tell me whether you think this is something that's sustainable through 162 games. I think it's fair to say Machado's batting 191.
Well, yeah, but no, hear me out.
Let me go back. The Padres ranked 28th in batting average, 223. Their on-base percentage has 7 ads pop up while I'm just trying to read this. Their on-base percentage is tied for 28th in OPS. They have offensive stats that should not put them as the 5th best record in Major League Baseball.
100%. But
you don't need 97 wins. You also probably don't need 93 wins, nor 95. It doesn't mean that the Padres can't make the postseason and be a threat, but no, I don't think it's sustainable to go at the pace they're going.
Well, that's the thing. They're not going to be this team, though. So something will change, obviously. I mean, you can't
get any worse. Is that what you're saying?
They're going to obviously offensively be better than this, or maybe the pitching takes a step back or a step forward. So it's not about sustaining what they've done. What they've done is already like in the books. It's like it's caked in. So they're 24-16. You can start 0-0 here. Can they navigate their way to similar success moving forward, even if the formula changes? Machado's not hitting 191 for the year. they're not going to be 28th in baseball in batting average, probably. But
those are then encouraging things.
Right.
But you asked, can they sustain this pace
if they play the same way? You're saying, okay.
But I mean, listen, I don't think anybody's expecting them to play the same way. If they play the same way, they're clearly not going to be a team that's 8 games over 500 through the first quarter of the season.
Yeah, no, 100%. I guess my question is, can they find a new way to reinvent themselves?
I think they
keep
can.
winning at a clip that is comparable to what they've won at.
So by framing it that way, that to me is a much more encouraging way.
I agree.
Because I could also look at it and say, I think they're going to get some help coming from the pitching staff.
Yep.
I think their lowest point as far as starting pitching is already here. Like, we're in the midst of it right now. Okay, well, now they got a little bit of help. Lucas Giolito, like you heard Kevin say, probably a Saturday or a Sunday start. Are we looking a month from now, 2 months from now? Do they get some more starting pitching help? And then these bats just can't be any worse. Like, it's different if Tatis, let's say, had 5-6 home runs right now, if Machado was batting 270 right now, if I don't know, I'm just kind of trying to think off the Jackson Merrill had a good start to the season, then I think the question would be, well, how do they get better? I think right now you could actually look at their team and say, well, there's many areas that they can get better.
Yeah.
Is that not a fair way of assessing it?
There's many areas where they could get better, and they've had a good start to their year where you could, again, to your point, they don't need 97 wins, but I'm also not kicking it out of bed. I would like to see a year in this iteration of the Padres where they really are somehow able to put their foot on the gas and ramp up a win total and vie in a division. I get it. You don't have to. I've been the biggest proponent of saying just get into the postseason over the last 5 or 7 years, but I'm not kicking out the idea of them putting together a year in which it's special. I don't know if they can do that based on what we've seen through 40 games or not.
I think it's a fair point because not every team needs to win. We're going to go back to something we were referencing last week. When the Dodgers would try to get to 100 and X amount of wins and everything else, I'm like, why? Like, that doesn't make any sense. By the time they get to the postseason, their arms are destroyed, they're tired, dead, whatever the case is. It never really made sense to me, and I think they've changed their strategy. But maybe it's different for the Padres, right? Like, for a team that hasn't won a division in X amount of years, right?
A team strive for one,
and a team has not had the luxury of like, well, we just have to get in, and then we can make it happen. No, for the Padres, listen, if they were able to be in a hunt by the time you get to September and you got a chance at the division, there's so many positives to winning the division. The chance that it comes through Petco Park, like, there are areas where it would make a lot more sense for the Padres to go for it than other teams in the NL.
Yeah, it was just 1 year. I would like to see the Padres have a year where it isn't about 89 wins, man. Let's just get it. Like, I'd like to see a year where they have a special year, but you can do it now in the postseason. You don't have to do it, obviously, in the regular season.
But you know why there's the 89 win kind of thing? Because it's felt like that's how they're going to get in.
Yeah.
Like, there's luxury and necessity. It's like it's a necessity for them just to get in. They haven't been in this spot where it's like, well, you know what? Let's shoot for 95 this year. Like, that's just hasn't been in the cards for them.
Yeah, unfortunately, even with their payroll, which has been, a top 10 payroll. All right, we'll get to hour 2 on the other side of Schaefer and Sliwa. We'll kick it off with the wrap. Sean Lewis will join us at 5 p.m. We're out here at Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitas until 6 p.m. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by RCP Block and Brick. The Padres have an off day today. They start a series in Milwaukee tomorrow against the Brewers. First pitch is set for 4:40. In NBA news, Wembanyama is going to avoid a suspension after getting ejected in Game 4 for elbowing Naz Reid. He is eligible to play in Game 5. And it's official, the Bucks are seeking trade offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And we got a couple more Game 4s in the NBA playoffs tonight, starting at 5 o'clock when the Pistons travel to Cleveland. And right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 7:15, we got Game 4 of Lakers Thunder. The tip will be a little bit after 7:30. For a backyard that stands out, RCP Block and Brick has the new large profile Monarch pavers. They're bold, modern, and made to last. From walkways, patios to pool decks, Monarch large profile pavers will transform your outdoor space. Monarch pavers now at rcpblock.com.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? This is hour 2 of Schaefer and Sliwa, Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitos until 6 p.m. We have ordered our food. What is the difference between John and Alan? You can look at YouTube.
Yeah, one's healthy. The other one's freaking
Alan
like
got wings.
Idiot.
I got ahi.
Some ranch here.
Tuna. Yeah, I'm excited to eat this.
Got the buffalo wings right here.
Yeah. No, this is going to be good. This is really good.
By the way, shout out. Had a few people come by, swing on by, and one guy's like, I'm listening to you on the app.
Yes.
Like, all right.
Yes.
Listen away.
Yeah, so come out here. We're here until 6 p.m. There'll be an Aztec event actually here later on this evening. But Sean Lewis is going to join us at 5 p.m. J.D. Wicker will join us coming up at 5:30 as well. We have a giveaway, by the way. We've buried some of the lead.
What are we giving away?
Listen to this.
Okay.
Listen to this.
I'm listening.
You know Rod Stewart? Heard of him?
Heard of him.
You've heard of Rod Stewart?
Yeah.
He's performing June 12th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in 1 month. June 12th.
Okay.
You can win tickets to see Rod Stewart.
Come on.
Rod Stewart, the legend.
Come on.
Brent, give me your top 3 Rod Stewart songs.
I can't name 3 of them.
Okay, give me a Rod Stewart song.
If You Think I'm Sexy.
Thank you. There you go. Look at Brent. Is that on the spot like that?
Yeah, Brent is he's like a Renaissance man.
I know.
He's got a little bit of everything.
He knows something on all things.
On everything.
It's kind of incredible.
Yep.
Rod Stewart will give away those tickets coming up later in the hour. Right now, though, let's get to this.
It's time for the wrap. Presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
Which NFL game are you most looking forward to seeing this season?
Which NFL game? All right, so I'm a little. I'm gonna have to catch this one a little bit on the fly. Let me ask you this, Brent. Give me a. Do we got Chiefs and Bills this year? Is that known off the top?
No, I mean, it's not necessarily. It is known because every opponent is known. There's been some of the announcements today on like TV.
Okay, so here's what I'll tell you. Here's what I need Chiefs in whatever game. And that just kind of shows you, even though they don't make the playoffs last year, I need Chiefs in a big time game.
Let's see.
And then if you give me a Josh Allen on the other side, give me a Lamar Jackson on the other side, like that to me is always entertaining. Or I could just do this. I could go Seahawks Rams, which I thought were the 2 best teams in the NFC last year. Whenever they face each other, I'll take that.
The Chiefs are playing at the Bills.
Okay.
Date to be determined.
Okay, I'm in.
I'll go with the game that was announced today because there's the trickle out during the upfronts for these TV networks. How about Eagles Cowboys Thanksgiving Day announced earlier today?
Sounds boring as hell.
You think? Well, the Cowboys play every Thanksgiving Day.
I know, which is one of the worst ideas I've ever heard.
Having them play. What about the Lions historically?
Well, finally the Lions got good.
True.
But I would always complain. I'm like, can we stop with this
it up?
freaking? Put the best 2 teams, or put some games that make sense on
Switch it up. Okay, well, I'm still going to go with that. I'm going to go with Eagles Cowboys from Dallas Thanksgiving Day. That could be one of those viewership record type games. Maybe not like it was last year with, I think, Chiefs and Cowboys, but that could be a huge draw, obviously, on television on Thanksgiving Day. Eagles and Cowboys. Next question.
Will SDFC's winless streak end this week in either of their 2 home matches on Wednesday or Saturday?
Yeah, they go Wednesday and Saturday. I was looking at the standings. So they tied again, 1-1. Scored early and then gave up a goal in like 80th, 81st minute, something like that. I don't know the standings of the 2 opponents they got coming up, but you got 2 games going there. They're both at home. There is some desperation. Brother, they need 6 points. Like they can't even afford 4 points. They get 1 win and a tie. They need 6 points, at least according to some of those standings. They will break it. 2 in a row, Wednesday and Saturday. See if they can handle business.
So Austin on Wednesday is 3-4 with 5 draws. 3-4 with 5 draws.
Cincinnati
in the East has been better than that, but no, they're 4-4.
Come on,
with 4 draws. Meanwhile, SDFC now in 13th place in the West has 3 wins, 5 losses, and 4 draws. But here's the thing: with a win, they would be back in playoff position at 9th overall. So they're 3 points out of the 9th spot right now in the Western Conference. So it's there for the taking. I'm with you. Go get 6 points at home.
They didn't take an L on Saturday, which I think many thought they would take an L, so I'll give them some credit there.
Yeah.
I know the LAFC game was a backbreaker for many SDFC fans, so you got opportunity for 2 wins against teams you should be. You got to change the trajectory of this season, and that would be a good opportunity to do so.
You're getting towards a World Cup stoppage coming up here as well in Major League Soccer. Next question.
Is AJ DeBansa going to be a franchise-altering player for the Wizards?
I like the player. I hate the spot. So a lot of times, you could have a great player. Let me give you an example of a player right now that's in the playoffs. AJ Mitchell of the Oklahoma City Thunder was a
You sneezing?
Sneezing, not sneezing. Was a 38th pick in the draft for the Oklahoma City Thunder. If he was drafted by the Washington Wizards, no one would have any idea who he is. He'd probably have no success. He had 24 and 10 in a playoff game against the Lakers a couple nights ago. I'm just worried about him with the team that he's going to. You can be a stud. You can be an absolute stud, but if you end up with the wrong team, you can still be 15, 20 games below 500 every single year. So I'm worried about his chances because it's the Wizards.
I mean, the Wizards, you're completely right. I mean, listen, AJ DeBansa was so incredible for BYU, and it's not like he took BYU to the promised land. It's going to take time. He is not alone going to change the entire trajectory of the Washington Wizards. It's going to be a lot on
happens
the
with
front
players.
office.
You know what I mean? Like there are franchises that can change it, but you have a front office or an ownership that's not helping.
Yeah, exactly. So I just feel like it's a large ask. Really great player. 25.5 points as a freshman at BYU. Unbelievable.
Did you watch it all? I mean, it was actually wildly entertaining. I know Brent, you and I were saying, like, why are they doing this on a Sunday? They did it at noon on a Sunday before the Knicks and the Sixers started. I was kind of glued into that damn
I watched
thing.
the whole thing.
It's franchise altering.
Yeah.
And because this draft is so big, the fact that the Clippers stayed in it, the Pacers lost their pick, it was pretty entertaining.
It was. I agree. Next question.
Where's a good landing spot for Giannis?
I got to be honest. Usually there's a lot of intrigue and conversations about when a star player wants out. This has been the most drawn out request for a trade, not request for a trade, break up, not break up, we're back together. It's almost like you got a good buddy who's been with his girl for X amount of years and they can't figure out what their future is. There comes a point where I'm like, I don't even care what they do. I just hope they do something. I don't care anymore about Giannis. I heard them saying today on NBA, I think it was on ESPN. Kendrick Perkins was trying to make a case, Jaylen Brown for Giannis Antetokounmpo. I am not trading Jaylen Brown if I'm the Boston Celtics. Where's a good landing spot for him? Is there anywhere that he can go, like one of these Texas teams? I know he's not going to go to San Antonio, but can the Rockets figure out a way to get him if you're in a win-now mode and you need a true big? Can Dallas, is there any interest in Dallas, or is Dallas kind of rebuilding? I'll go Houston. If I had to just, again, off the top of my head, I'll go Houston.
Yeah, I like going somewhere where you're not holding on to something. Like, as in, you can't just be like, well, maybe he goes to a veteran team like Golden State and they put it all together with Giannis. I would think he's going somewhere where he's going to want to be for a period of time and you can win each and every year.
And it's kind of win now wherever he goes.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you got to win now. It's an interesting. What about, the Knicks?
No, you can't do it now.
They can't do it.
It's all going to just depend now, but they're at a point where they're smashing teams. Listen, if you lose to the Detroit Pistons, then it's a different conversation, right? Like now you can have a conversation. Maybe you're a team like the Cavs. If you're out against the Pistons, do you kind of think how to kind of mix things up?
But if the Knicks lose like in the NBA Finals or don't make the NBA Finals, isn't that the type of...
That's a different conversation. What if they make the Finals and lose to the Thunder?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Interesting, but Giannis will. I mean, it's been like a year-long saga.
Such a
18
I'm so sick of it.
Long saga. We will get to an NBA playoff whip around on the other side. Lakers on the verge of elimination tonight in Game 4 of their series against Oklahoma City.
Fault.
It's all the
referees.
And how about Wemby turning like heel over the course of the last 24 hours in the NBA postseason? Again, we're going to have Sean Lewis with us at 5 p.m. and J.D. Wickers, San Diego State's athletic director, at 5:30. Giving away some Rod Stewart tickets here until 6 p.m. Stay with us. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, hey guys, it is Schaefer again for my friends over at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. You got to get out there this spring and summer with their hotel and spa, where you can experience elevated luxury with their refined hotel stay with rooftop relaxation, indulgent spa treatments, all the excitement of Jamul Casino Resort seamlessly brought together in one unforgettable destination. And now you can take your stay to the next level with exclusive hotel packages crafted for the ultimate escape, and you'll love their food options. Jamul 23 with their lobster buffet every day, and Tony Gwynn's with their endless dining at Jamul 23. Enjoy all-you-can-eat lobster every day, plus dozens of other delicious stations. You can start your morning with their new signature breakfast buffet Monday through Friday, 8 to 10:30 a.m. with made-to-order omelets, fresh fruit, and sweet and savory favorites. And at Tony Gwynn's, you'll love their endless dining experience Wednesday through Sunday at Tony Gwynn's Sports Pub at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the Players Place. All right, San Diego Sports 760 has 9 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday with the Bonus Bucks contest. Listen every hour, 9 through 5. Listen for the keyword, enter it at sportssd.com. Next chance to win $1,000 coming up soon right here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, you threw back some wings there at the break. What did you get? What are the
lemon
two flavors?
pepper and just traditional buffalo.
So you started kind of with lemon pepper, it looks like.
Yeah, lemon pepper is
peppery?
It's the winner of the two.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, phenomenal.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, phenomenal. Underrated, I would say, in the wing game.
Just in general.
Yeah, it's kind of like it always comes in as like an 8-9 seed.
And did it pull off an upset here?
It's in the Sweet 16 right now.
Wow, it beat the 1.
Yeah,
That's
took down the 1.
It's so rare now in college basketball.
Yeah,
with rev share, name, image, and likeness.
They don't care.
They don't.
Go tell
these
that
wings
to
don't care.
Pepper.
These wings don't care.
You go
they had
tell
other
that.
ideas.
You go tell that to that locker room.
They had other ideas. Speaking of basketball,
yeah.
NBA postseason playing out this weekend. We had said after Game 2 of the Lakers Thunder series, this could go one of two ways, with the Lakers calling out the officiating in the series and
like
Oklahoma City.
It was the whole storyline.
Oklahoma City is like, what
two.
about us? And they just dominated, obviously, over the weekend in Game 3, specifically in the second half. They can clinch that series here tonight with another sweep. And then, of course, there was last night with Wemby, who gets tossed in the first half of a Game 4 that San Antonio ultimately loses. We might be looking at another situation where Oklahoma City is about to begin another long layoff heading into the Western Conference Finals.
Well, let's go back to real quick, because I think what you said, I think you brought this up. When did they play? They played on Saturday. So we were reacting on Friday, right? So Lakers, it's a 2-0 Oklahoma City. And the whole storyline was like, oh, my God, the referees and Austin Reeves surrounding the ref and everybody kind of taking a look, all that. Okay. You, I think, mentioned like one of two things are going to happen here. And I was trying to explain to you that, look, I don't think it's a bad idea from J.J. Redick. Let me shift some of the attention. Let me see if I can get some calls. By the way, if you're doing that, it's all desperation. You're like starting to reach a point where you're desperate, and that's what the Lakers were. Saturday, and I was at the game, so I'm there, and that was just an old-fashioned ass-kicking by the Oklahoma City Thunder in the second half. Lakers were up 2. And then they went on like a 21-4 run to start the second half. Just nothing Lakers can do. You know, I think sometimes we all watch sports and we say to ourselves, yeah, that team is just on a different level than that team. By the way, the Thunder would do this to 90% of the teams in the league. Like, this isn't just a Laker thing. That's how good the Oklahoma City Thunder are. There's a dude out of Santa Barbara, A.J. Mitchell, who was pick number 38. He comes into the game. He's starting right now because Jalen Williams is out. Nobody's talking about number 38 in the draft. So this isn't even like, oh, my God, they got a huge draft pick, something like that. Number 38. A lot of teams had chances. Lakers had a pick at number 17 that year, and I think they took Dalton Knecht that year. And it just kind of shows how the Thunder are playing chess when everybody else is playing checkers. Thunder got a chance to end the Lakers season tonight. Probably most likely going to do so. You said something about the layoff. I think if they are able to close it out tonight, I think that actually benefits the Thunder. I know usually you might say like the first game they played against the Lakers, they didn't look as good. They didn't look as crisp, and they're kind of getting better and better as the series goes along. Jalen Williams, they need Jalen to win a championship. So I would just kind of pause on I know that's probably not going to benefit them. It looks like Minnesota and Denver, or Minnesota and San Antonio, that's going to be a long series. I think it benefits them to have more time for Jalen Williams.
Here's the thing, to your point about Oklahoma City would do to a number of teams what they're doing to the Lakers, completely agree. There's no doubt. I mean, they've won 7 consecutive playoff games. That's not done often. The last team to do it was like the Cavs in 2016. So this isn't happening every year. The thing that, again, to me has been a little bit irritating is the way the Lakers went about it in Game 2, specifically with the officiating. It's one thing to just be outclassed, and you just go down kind of gracefully, or just say at the end of the series, like, we were beat by a better team. To pretend like that's part of the storyline, maybe they're not doing it anymore after Game 3. I just didn't like pretending as if part of the storyline of how we got here was because of the way the series had been officiated.
Desperation, brother. That's what it was.
Which is fine.
Which, by the way, you're not wrong. Like, I'm with you. Like, there's a way you're going to go out, just go out.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just, Laker players or coaches. Like, I think the fans were also trying to put their foot down and say, what is going on here? And I agree with you. I mean, they're losing because the Oklahoma City Thunder
better than them.
Are just a lot better than them. You mentioned Wemby for a second. So I'm getting ready. I didn't watch the first quarter, and I tune into the game, and I just keep hearing them say, well, now with Wemby out the rest of the game, and I'm like, oh, my God, he get injured? That's the first thing I thought. I saw the replay, and as somebody that is like, yeah, I'm a Wemby fan, as most people are. You want to? He's just such a unique player and everything else. What was Wemby doing? What was he doing? Someone help me understand what was going through Wemby's mind yesterday to get himself thrown out of a game in game 4 of a chance to go up 3-1. I think they win that game if Wemby is there. What the hell was he doing?
Yeah, not just that. It's like you've already proven you could lose at home to Minnesota. You did it in game 1. And if they don't win this series, obviously everyone's going to circle this moment. I said earlier, it's kind of like he has turned heel. Cuts his hair. The guy's a dominant force. The guy is an incredible player. To expose your team like that, like if I'm Victor Wembanyama in the locker room after that, like, yo, guys, I'll take care of it. Completely my bad. I put you in that susceptible spot. Such a winnable game. They could have won that game with 2 or 3 minutes left. They were in position to win that game. I just feel like he's opened them up to the possibility of not getting out of this series right now. Maybe they just will. That was inexcusable. To get thrown out of a game in that manner, he should have been thrown out. And we'll see if they can overcome that or not.
Yeah, nobody's questioning it either, right?
Right. Nobody's like,
I think last night, and especially the NBA saying to themselves, yeah, we, of course, want Wemby to play in this game.
Yeah.
If Wemby's getting thrown out for a flagrant 2, then it must be just an absurd play from Wemby, and it kind of was. Like, it was just I didn't understand Wemby, trying to pump his team off when he's leaving the game. I'm like, man, you put your squad. They almost won that game even without him.
Yeah, they almost did. All right, so again, tonight, Lakers are playing the Thunder. That is game 4 of the series. What else is tonight?
Tonight, let's see.
Is there one other game? Oh, Pistons Cavs.
Yeah, by the way, it might be the most boring
I know.
that we've ever seen.
Yeah, something about, I don't know. I don't enjoy watching the Cavs in the postseason.
Harden? Is it Harden?
Maybe it's Harden. Maybe it's Cleveland. I don't know. Maybe it's their uniforms.
What happened to Jared? Like, why so at James Harden? I feel like you have like a rival.
Do I hate James Harden?
I don't know. I just felt
he had his big moment. He finally had his big playoff moment in game 3. There it was. There's his career moment. I think Detroit will still win that series, right?
Yeah, I got this.
Detroit will win that series. All right, we'll stay on the NBA subject on the other side. How about a GM apologizing for what played out in the draft lottery?
Yeah, probably not smart.
And I don't know how often you would see that. Imagine AJ Preller doing something similar for Padres fans. I think I see Sammy Long, by the way, making his way. We're at Naughty Barrel here, Rancho Penasquitos. I think Sammy Long from San Diego Sports 760 is going to make his way over. We're here until 6. Sean Lewis will join us at 5. J.D. Wicker at 5:30. We'll give away Rod Stewart tickets coming up this hour. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. The Padres have an off day today, but they'll start a series in Milwaukee tomorrow against the Brewers. First pitch is set for 4:40. In NBA news, Wemby avoided suspension after getting ejected for elbowing Naz Reid last night. He will be able to play in Game 5. And it's officially official. The Bucks are seeking trade offers for Giannis. We got 2 more Game 4s in the NBA playoffs tonight, and about 30 minutes or so, they'll have the tip-off of Pistons at Cavs. And right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 7:15, we'll have Game 4 of Lakers Thunder. Every now and then, you find a deal that actually feels like a win. With Straight Talk Wireless, you get more and pay less. Now, that's a good deal. No contracts, no credit checks, no surprises. All on Verizon's 5G network. Find it the same place you've always found straightforward prices, exclusively at Walmart and straighttalk.com.
All right, Schaefer and Sliwa here on San Diego Sports 760 until 6 p.m. Sammy Long has made it into the building.
He's a good man right there.
Going long with Sammy Long.
Yeah.
Weekdays from 2 to 3 right here on 760. Here us, we just heard him. The crossover was, an hour and a half ago.
He hustled up here.
He's hustled out. We were at Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitas until 6 p.m. Sean Lewis will join us at 5 p.m. J.D. Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, at 5:30. Now, you're trying to, what I'm noticing on videos, you're trying to escape the sun.
It's not bad. It's just enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To where, and right now, look, we have like 3 umbrellas.
We do.
Nice enough to hook up.
Yeah.
But the sun, it's creative, right?
The sun is creative.
Very creative.
Yeah.
Kind of knows how to get in when it needs to. And right now, I think you lean back just a little bit.
I'm right in the sun if I lean back. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're good. Yeah, we're making it through.
It's a beautiful day. It really is. It's a beautiful day. So if you're out and about, you can swing by. We're going to be here until 6 p.m.
Till midnight. We're going to be here till midnight.
I mean, honestly, I may be here for a while. I am going to be here
you
for
literally will be here for
There's
a while.
an Aztec event, so I'll be here for a while. This isn't every day when the Pacers general manager, Kevin Pritchard, tweeted this out earlier today saying, this is actually yesterday.
Yep.
I'm really sorry to all our fans. I own taking this risk. Surprised it came up 5th after this year. I thought we were due some luck, but please remember this team deserves a starting center to compete with the best teams next year. We have always been resilient. That was Kevin Pritchard after the Clippers maintained their pick in the draft and the Pacers didn't end up with it because the Clippers were going to keep it if it was 5th. The Pacers were going to get it if it was the top 4, and the Clippers keep their pick, and the Pacers are on the outside looking
Clippers
at
had 5 through 9.
Right.
That's where Clippers would get it. So if I got this right, and go back to your quote right there, what did he say? Something about luck? Give me just that.
Surprised it came up 5th after this year. I thought we were due some luck.
I don't know.
That can't be a strategy.
I don't know if I'm Kevin Pritchard, president of basketball operations for the Pacers. By the way, the Pacers were in the freaking finals last year. Like they had a chance here of making it to the NBA, or they had a chance of winning an NBA championship. So I give them a lot of credit the way they've built their team and everything else. But I'm okay if luck doesn't go on your side. You protect it 5 through 9. It doesn't, or you protect it 1 through 4. It doesn't happen 5 through 9, and then you would have got it after that. The problem is, why are you tweeting that to your fans? That just sounds so idiotic to do. Now, I heard somebody say this a little bit earlier today. Well, I love that he was being honest. It just doesn't sound like a good strategy, brother. I thought luck was going to be on our side. Luck, by the way, is a big part of sports.
Sure.
The Dallas Mavericks got lucky that they 1%, 2% chance they had a Cooper Flag. They got him.
The Pacers got unlucky that Halliburton tore his Achilles in the 7th game of the NBA Finals.
Luck is part of everything, right? Like luck just kind of happens to come with sports. I mean, a lot of sports happens around luck. The Padres got unlucky that a Musgrove injury or whatever the case is. Like that's part of it. What I don't need your president of basketball operations to do is basically try to tell the fan base, I thought we would get lucky.
Yeah, to your point, we talked about this before the show. I just imagine A.J. Preller saying something similar in any type of capacity where it's like, when I think about Preller, I think about a GM that's trying to create his own luck. Like he's going to go out.
He's aggressive,
and be
very
aggressive.
Yeah.
He's not thinking about his job. He's not necessarily thinking about the consequences, let alone the circumstances Now, he's obviously not active on social media. He may have burner accounts, but he's not out there tweeting about the moves they do or don't make. But it is kind of fascinating. On one hand, it's like, I can't believe a general manager would tweet that out. And on the other hand, I feel like he should not have tweeted this out in capacity in this exact manner.
This is the way you treat it, okay? You get behind a mic and you say,
you
listen,
talk about it.
We knew that there was a risk in doing this trade for Ivica Zubats. We wanted a starting center that we felt like could be our starting center for years to come, and we feel like he's got the potential of an all-star. It's a cost of doing business.
Yep.
And this is the only way that we could have got him. We've already proven to you as a fan base that we can compete, that we get in the playoffs. I mean, they made a trade. Remember, they got Tyrese Halliburton in a trade for Domantas Sabonis. So, like, they've already taken some chances. I think you could pump your chest out and say, look, this one didn't go our way. Don't worry. We'll make sure the next one does. You're not going out there. And, again, my problem with this tweet is he's asking for the luck. Like, luck didn't go our way or whatever the case is. It just sounds idiotic.
Yeah, and here's the thing, as we all know, in the NBA,
we can't make a mortgage payment this month. I thought I had great luck at the local casino.
It just didn't turn out. The thing is, though, the NBA, I mean, the Pacers were awful this year. Obviously, they basically punted the season.
Yeah, strategically.
They punted the season. They end up with nothing other outside of it. And in the NBA, this isn't baseball where it's like, who cares if you have the fifth pick? I mean, I'd rather have it than not have it. But it's not like the fifth pick is going to put you in baseball's postseason in the next 2 years. But in the NBA, it can. It can completely change and alter franchises. So their strategy or the aggressiveness or whatever it was just didn't pan out necessarily as it relates to this draft. I get it from a fan perspective. Like, we just watched all this play out this year, and we were hopeful and optimistic that we'd get a pick as a result of it, and we didn't. I feel like the NBA is predicated on it. All we do is talk about tanking. We spent 3 months talking about tanking. They changed it, right? And that's why they changed it. But I mean, it is a big thing to miss out on.
This is the final year that they're going to have it, obviously under the current structure. And I think the Pacers, I know we're not obviously here in San Diego to break down the Pacers, but it's more just this kind of stupidity of a moment for a president of basketball operations where if AJ Preller had did something like that, we'd be obviously crucifying him here. But I think it has, again, I'm okay with them tanking last season. Tyrese Halliburton wasn't going to play. This is kind of the strategy of the NBA. I mean, you know what team ended up, I think had either the highest or the second highest odds to get a pick. Of course, the Sacramento Kings end up at 7 or wherever they ended up. Like, that's a franchise that can't get out of the way. I will say this. That's a big moment for the Clippers yesterday. That's a big moment for them. During the offseason, they trade for Darius Garland. They trade James Harden, Darius Garland. They get 10 years younger. Benedict Mathurin, I think, is a really nice player, and they end up with a number 5 pick. They will kind of start their process of rebuilding.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting because the lottery is something that you talk about in basketball for like 6 months. You probably knew a month into the regular season what teams were not going for it. Like Indiana started 0-11 or whatever. These teams start terribly. They're never going to be in it.
And then you're incentivized.
Then you're waiting for ping pong balls on some random day in May to determine what's going to happen next with all of these franchises. That's so odd to me that that's the way it plays out. I'm glad they're getting rid of it or attempting to try to get rid of it moving forward. I just think
will still tank. It just doesn't need to be as obvious anymore.
I don't love it. All these sports have their issues. We've talked about baseball's issues. Yeah. They absolutely have them. Does the NFL have issues? I'm sure the NFL has issues. We could discuss what they are. The
Still
NBA,
trying to figure it out which one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's a good point. Maybe the issues with the NFL right now is you need like 16 different networks to watch every single NFL game this upcoming year. But the NBA thing is just weird. I'm glad they're trying to get rid of it, I guess, is my point. I like the way that locally, here's the thing. If they're going to have one team like we do in San Diego in the Big Four, I'm glad we don't have a team like the Sacramento Kings. Because having one team in the Big Four, by the way, Sacramento is the same thing. The A's are on their way out. Mm-hmm. To have one team in the Big Four and to spend the entirety of your franchise trying to get ping pong balls to pop up properly is a terrible existence as a fan. I'm sorry. That is the difference between being a Kings fan for the last 15 years and a Padres fan for the last 10 years is night and day different.
But that has nothing to do. The Kings have nothing to do with the ping pong ball. Because even if you gave them, we're talking about the Washington Wizards. They end up with the number 1 pick.
You're saying it's just poorly run franchise.
Poorly run franchise. You can give them, if tomorrow you put the Sacramento Kings roster, or no, you just take Sam Presti and say, go run the Sacramento Kings who runs the Oklahoma City Thunder, they'll be good in 3 or 4 years.
Sure.
It's just who runs the organization. It has less to do with the lottery balls. It has more to do with who runs the organization.
True, although wouldn't you agree, like, if, at least with baseball, or maybe, I mean, the Padres aren't going to put themselves in a position as the only franchise in the Big Four in San Diego where, like, well, they're just poorly run. And, it's been growing. I just feel like it's a little different. Like, you can throw more resources at it in an attempt to win.
Sure.
Whereas, like, you're just screwed in basketball. Maybe front office plays a significant role in that because everyone's got the same, cap to work with. It just feels like if I'm going to have one of the Big Four, I'm pretty thankful to have the Padres as opposed to the Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, yeah.
The Sacramento Kings.
No, that and remember, that all just changed in the last 8-9 years.
Yeah, but it all changed because obviously the Chargers aren't here, right?
Well, what I mean by that is the team also started investing, became incredibly aggressive, and all of that. But
which
yes,
coincides, I think, with the Chargers also leaving in 2017. All right, Sean Lewis is going to join us coming up at 5 p.m. At 5:30, we've got J.D. Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director. You can come join us. We're at Naughty Barrel here, Rancho Penasquitos, on a gorgeous Monday afternoon. We'll give away Rod Stewart tickets on the other side, June 12th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We'll give those away coming up next. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760, and live on the iHeartRadio app. All right, Schaefer and Sliwa here on San Diego Sports 760. Sean Lewis, Aztecs football coach, will join us. I think he's going to call in at 5 p.m. J.D. Wicker may join us live at 5:30, but J.D. Wicker will be on the show as well coming up at 5:30. We'll give away Rod Stewart tickets in the next 10 minutes. That's June 12th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. We've gotten away from the Padres here over the last 30 or 40 minutes. They are off today. They'll be in Milwaukee tomorrow to begin a 3-game series and a 6-game road trip. But again, 24-16, split their series against the St. Louis Cardinals. Again, has May started the way they played overall in April? No, because they've been 500 so far in May, and the offense has really struggled. But as we said to start the month, hey, you stay 8-10 games over 500, you're putting together a pretty good year. And that's where they are right now at 24-16, 40 games in.
I love how none of the numbers make sense.
Right.
But the way Machado was explaining it, and I'm going to give Machado a lot of credit on this because I don't think he shied away from how the team is playing in the sense, well, maybe even how he's playing individually. But at the end of the day, he said, we're getting wins. And, I've had a difficult time kind of how should I look at the Padres? Should I be more critical about them? Should we be harder on some of the players? Should we talk about why this player isn't doing this, why that player isn't? I think obviously it makes a lot of sense to do that, but down there 8 games over 500. And I think until, one thing that you and I think we've tried doing throughout the season, we would have demolished them today if they'd have lost that game 2-0.
Yeah.
And they would have lost 3 or 4 to the St. Louis Cardinals. And I think it's fair to do it when it's time. Well, they had an unbelievable moment last night. In a day game, Castellanos hits a 2-run homer. Down 0-2. Obviously gets it back to 3-2. That was a pretty remarkable win, so it's tough for me to be very critical of them. It kind of plays, if I told you, give me 1 or 2 storylines of the first quarter mark of the season, one of them is some of these unbelievable games that they had, and yesterday was a good capper to the quarter mark.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, they've had so many of them. I like what Kevin told us when he joined us earlier, our Padres Insider Kevin Acee. He's like, do you really want to look back on the year if it is a good year and just look at everything that hasn't gone right? Or just recognize that whoever your favorite baseball team is or team is, of course, you're going to look at it through like a critiquing lens. Every team is going through stuff by and large. But most of the other 30 teams would take the 24-16 record. It is an interesting point. It's like, should we just be content, so to speak? Not just content, pleased, happy that they've gotten off to a good start, even though individually they haven't all gotten off to good starts. That's an interesting conversation. Like, are we going to be sitting here in October and the postseason is going to start and they're in it? We're going to be like, they can't win. They didn't hit. There's no shot. Or are we just going to enjoy the fact that they put themselves in a position to once again vie in the postseason and be in it when 18 of the 30 teams won't be in it in 2026?
But if you look at last season, was everybody sitting back? Like, we just go back to last year. When the season ended, how did you feel?
They were saying, I think I felt very similar to the way I would feel right now.
I think there is when the season ended, it was they can't hit. I can't believe September they didn't give themselves a chance to have home field advantage, to have those 3 games against the Cubs at Petco. So even if we try to kind of enjoy that process and try to enjoy that the Padres are 8 games over 500, and they found ways to win games maybe they shouldn't win, where their offense should not equate to 8 games over 500, there's always going to be in the back of your mind, but can this team and this type of team actually have a World Series run? That's of course that's a big question.
Of course. I mean, the Kevin point that he made earlier, bless you, that they're the only team in baseball history to have a record this good, batting this poorly. That's the point he made. They're the only team in baseball history to have a record this good, batting this poorly since 1900. Since 1900 does, of course, take you down the path of like, well, yeah, you can't win the World Series like that. My counterpoint would be,
what's your counter there, John?
It's May. So nobody wins the World Series right now. And I watched the 19-32 Washington Nationals in 2019 be the 19-32 Washington Nationals. Nobody then was like, this team is winning a World Series. And there's other examples in recent baseball history of these teams that get in as wild card teams and they're playing better then, like closer to the postseason than they are now. No sport is like it with the 162. What you're doing in May may be relevant or it may be irrelevant by the time you get there.
All right, what's more likely? What's more likely, that their offense, as bad as it's been, is the same offense for the next. Let's just take it by quarter, right? So you're a quarter through the season. The second quarter to get you halfway through the season. Is it more likely that their offense continues to be this, or is it more likely that their offense is a lot better?
I would say better. I don't know if it'll be a lot better, but I'd be very surprised if their offense was similar.
I'm with you.
Don't you
like
think?
is it possible for Manny Machado to get to halfway through the season batting 191? Is it possible for Fernando Tatis Jr. to have a couple home runs through halfway of the season? Is it possible for Jackson Merrill to play as he has halfway through the season? Come on. I'm just going to assume it's not possible.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. And Kevin has made this point with us so many times over the years as well, which is it's like having a home. It's like, well, we got a leaky sink, but we fixed the sink, and now you got a leaky tub. It's like just because Machado hits doesn't mean all of a sudden, well, you're not going to get the same production from your bench, or your bullpen won't take a step back, or you won't have to overcome an injury in your rotation.
And it will take everything clicking to actually have a World Series.
And I'd love to. And listen, if everything, I mean, they are built to have a lot of things click. I think there's concerns about the rotation, which is fair, but the bullpen is built to click. The offense is built to be better.
The only problem with that is the usage
of some of the high leverage.
Players, yeah.
But the offense is built to be better than this. Obviously, they weren't built to be the worst offense in the sport.
Yeah,
I know that. So I think if it were to click, that would be fun to see. But again, are you playing better than 24-16 over a 40-game stretch? Even if you are clicking, that's 600 baseball. That's pretty good. So it's hard with baseball, man, because you can make so many sweeping conclusions that change one series to the next or one day to the next. I completely agree with you. If they lost yesterday 2-0, I would have been so out on the way they were playing.
I'm going to give you my play-by-play.
Yeah.
I'm watching probably watched 7 innings and then gave up. This is very fan what is encouraging me for them to end up, doing something more or whatever the case is. And I look at my phone, and I'm about to go. I think I mentioned to you, I was about to go for a hike, and I was going to go to an area where I'm going to lose reception. And I look at my phone real quick to look at the score, just waiting for it to say 2-0 final, and for me to curse on myself. It says 2-2. I'm like, I don't even know how they got there. I'm like, I'm just going to lose reception. I'll figure it out later. But you kind of knew we would have demolished them today if they would have lost that game.
1 over 162. Where I'm not saying yesterday was a turning point.
It's a big moment. I think they were desperate for that. I mean,
I think they needed it. I think they've continued to prove something to themselves that they have had a knack for doing that. You talked about earlier, 4-0 down or 6-0 down or trailing in 9th innings or walk-off hits. They've just had a knack for doing that. I do think there's something about belief or confidence. They just have a little bit of an it factor is what I would say about it.
And it goes both ways. I guarantee you, there's a fan base out there saying to themselves, we can't find a way to win. Every time the game is close, every time we're in a position to get a W, every time we think we're going to they find a way to lose, and the Padres have been the other side of that.
Completely agree. All right, Sean Lewis is going to join us coming up in about 5 or 6 minutes. We did promise you a pair of tickets to see Rod Stewart, June 12th, at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. Call right now if you want those tickets. Caller 7, you are going to see Rod Stewart June 12th at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater. The number to call is 877-767-4760. Again, Rod Stewart at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in 1 month on June 12th. Call 877-767-4760 right now. Be caller 7, and you are going. Tickets and info at Ticketmaster.com. We will get back to the Padres in the 5 o'clock hour, but Sean Lewis, coming out of spring football, will join us on the other side. And then coming up at 5:30, San Diego State's athletic director, J.D. Wicker, will join us as well. We're at Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitas until 6 p.m. You can come and join us for the final hour of the show. Stay with us. Schaefer and Slee, San Diego Sports 760, live on the iHeartRadio app.
The support is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. The Padres have an off day today, but they start a series in Milwaukee tomorrow against the Brewers. First pitch is going to be at 4:40. In NBA news, Wemby has avoided suspension after getting ejected last night for elbowing Naz Reid. He will be able to play in Game 5, and the Bucks have made it official. They're seeking trade offers for Giannis. We got a couple Game 4s tonight in the NBA playoffs. We got Pistons and Cavs about to tip off here in about 10 minutes, and then right here on San Diego Sports 760 at 7:15, we got Game 4 of Lakers Thunder. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
All right, final hour here on San Diego Sports 760
just
out
today.
at Naughty Barrel.
Yes.
What's that? Out
Just-
at Naughty
just
Barrel
tonight,
here.
Final hour.
Final hour tonight. Naughty Barrel Rancho Penasquitas. They got an Aztec event coming up later this evening. Sean Lewis will be a part of it. The Aztecs head football coach back with us right now. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. Coach, we appreciate you taking time for us. We saw you a couple of weeks ago for the spring football game. I talked to you before that practice and game. What did you make of what you saw on that Saturday afternoon and your team in general coming out of spring football? And thanks for hopping on.
Yeah, John, great to be back on with you guys. Man, I really enjoyed, the event, the spring game. We had a great turnout from, friends and family, and Aztec Nation really came out and supported. I thought the guys flew around, made some explosive plays. In both phases of the game. We did a little bit of special teams, but it was mostly geared towards offense, defense, and some guys really made some nice plays. And it was a good bow on spring ball as we kind of work into the offseason and, the hardest summer conditioning about ramping up here at the end of the month.
All right, Coach, I got two really tough questions. The first one, on your San Diego State first pitch for the baseball game,
Right.
what'd you end up going with? Did you go change up? What did you do and how did it look?
I guess you would call it a garbage ball. If there was a left-handed batter in the box, it would have drilled him in the ankle and he would have been standing on first.
That's good enough right there. That's good enough. All right. So the other question, what's day-to-day like now? I think for those that, obviously know that there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and as you guys get ready for this upcoming season, what's day-to-day like for you when we sit here on May 11th? What kind of are you doing on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so each day, first and foremost, it starts with checking in on our guys, right, and making sure that they're handling the business that they need to. And right now they're finishing up finals, so still have a few more days with that before we get into graduation. But just making sure that guys are finishing the classroom strong. The whole coaching staff is out on the road right now recruiting. This time of year, the head coach is not allowed per NCAA rules to go out. So I'm getting constant feedback from the coaches that are on the road, updated tape, evaluating that. We're lining up, and recruiting prospects for our official visits. Be running up your guys' way, this evening, obviously for events with community engagement, donor engagement, all the things that go on to make sure that the program's running and continuing to take steps in a positive direction as we are jumping into the Pac-12 here in the near future.
Sean Lewis is the Aztecs' third-year head coach, and he's with us right now in Schaefer and Sliwa. You tweeted something out interesting. I think you know what I'm going to reference. I think it was a day or two ago, maybe yesterday, talking about your offense at Kent State your third year. Because there was a tweet from some college football account that said the highest scoring offense per game in America since 2014 was your Kent State team. In 2020, that averaged, incredibly 50 points per game, 49.8 points per game. You tweeted out 2020 was year 3 at Kent State. 2026 is year 3 at San Diego State. So I guess I'll ask it like this. What do you hope to see? You've got a lot of your pieces back. You've added as well. What do you hope to see from your offense heading into this upcoming year?
Yeah, obviously there's just been tremendous growth year after year, and I'm really excited, as we've talked a ton about, John, right, with having Denegal back, having the returning starting quarterback coming back who's familiar with the system. It's the first time since the 2021 season that I've had that, right? Every other year between 2022 up until last season, for different reasons, one or another, it's been a brand new quarterback learning the system. So just having that ability to have those reps accumulated and in the bank that Denegal has, and then you have all three of our, leading wide receivers that are coming back, and Bostic and Napier and Brown. You got, 1,300-yard tailback and Lucky coming back. And I really feel good about where we've added to in the offensive line, along with two all-conference performers and Big Joe and Kalen. So, yeah, excited, right? And looking forward to a bright future on the Mesa this year as we continue to take another step forward and put some points up on the board.
Coach, I'm starting to get these ads, which I love, all over social media, and it's get a chance to buy San Diego State tickets and get season tickets, and it's very affordable. And I want to ask you, as somebody that's, really running the football program, it's almost like it's like you're running your own business or your own company, and you're the CEO. What are you hoping to see from the city of San Diego this upcoming season? How important is it to try to get people to go out there and be aggressive and try to buy up some of these season tickets? Like, just paint us a picture of what you'd like to see from the city of San Diego as you do what you can for the football team. What is it that you're hoping in return comes from the city of San Diego?
Yeah, I want to make Snapdragon Stadium the spot to be in the fall, where there's a Saturday night or Saturday afternoon or heck, even Saturday morning, whatever time that kickoff is, no matter who the Aztecs are playing. The Aztecs are playing, and that's the spot to be, and that's what we need from the community of San Diego, right? I mean, this is our town. This is our team. We are the pro sports team, and the party should start in the fall with Aztec football. It should continue into Viejas with Aztec basketball, and then obviously rally around our diamonds here with Aztec softball, Aztec baseball, and obviously Petco Park. But, for us to go to where I know that we're capable of going, we need our community to compete with us the way that they have. It's been tremendous support to see the number of Aztec football shirts, and with obviously the success that we've had last year, and to jump on calls and to help, renew some tickets, sell some new tickets has been awesome. But to hear the excitement and, to be stopped within the community with how excited our fans are about the product that we're putting on the field, the brand of football that we're putting on the field, and then obviously going to the Pac-12, the time's now. So grab your tickets and help us create the best college football home environment in the whole nation there at Snapdragon, every single opportunity that we get in the fall.
By the way, season tickets on sale to Sean's point, to Alan's point, at GoAztecs.com. $175 a ticket is the starting price point, about $30 or less, $29, $28 per game. You can get them at GoAztecs.com. Last year, we spent so much time on your defense. You had one of the nation's elite defenses. Obviously, just the nature of the beast in college athletics, a lot of those pieces are elsewhere, whether they're in the NFL for the upcoming season or elsewhere. How do you feel about some of the pieces that you do have returning? Maybe they weren't starters last year, or some of the additions you've made via the portal as well for Demetrius Sumler as you take that, elite defense from last year and recalibrate it now for 2026?
Yeah, and John, I'm excited. Like when we took over, there was a lot of unknown as well because of the turnover. And then next thing you know, you look up and some of these household names, like Chris Johnson's and JoJo Cox, who's come in here, right? Like these guys become, guys that everyone's really, really familiar with because of their play. And so I'm excited for the opportunity that is there for JoJo to continue to emerge himself as a leader within our team. Obviously, you have Tano Latui, who's the heart and soul of our defense, coming back. And again, it's a cathedral kid right here from San Diego County, right? That's going to hold down an anchor in the middle as our captain. And then you got some guys up front, right? Brady Nasser's been here every single year with us. Aztec fans would be familiar with his name, and he's really grown and emerged as a leader as well. So really looking forward to those guys, stepping forward, emerging, Delshon Staley as well, who went into the portal, came back, obviously had a little bit of an injury there this spring that it's going to make him limited, but his leadership and his experience to be able to lead from the sideline will be huge. But again, there's new opportunity, right? Like with new faces and with guys moving on for one reason or another, now creates a new opportunity for others to step in and to maximize their training, to really seize those opportunities and become the next great star on, that side of the ball defensively for the Aztecs.
Head coach of the San Diego State football program, Sean Lewis, joining us here on the Schaefer and Sliwa show. Coach, I know when we last talked, we're at Riverwalk, and it was part of the event that we had going on there. Chris Johnson had just been drafted. and he goes to the Miami Dolphins. Can you talk about what the effect is after that happens? Like, how does San Diego State football? What's the after effect when you have somebody get drafted in the first round from San Diego State University, goes number 27? Can you just explain what that could mean for you, the coaching staff, and the program?
Yeah, but I think that was a great exclamation point, right, to a tremendous year as we concluded year two. Obviously, Chris going 27 overall. We had 6 other young men that went into NFL camps the past couple weekends. DJ Herman just signed a contract today with the Dolphins as well as a fullback. I mean, what a great story for him, right, as a teammate, as a guy who did a little bit of everything for us as a fullback, special teams captain, defensive linebacker the past few years for us. But because I think what those stories tell, along with obviously the 9-win season, right, is that the process that we have in place, how we go about our business, the experience that we give our guys every single day, simply put, it works, right? And so year one, we came in and we really laid the cultural foundation, stabilized some things. And then year two, again, there's this body of work and there's this evidence that it's real. And now as we head into year three, right, it's a time for us to be on the aggressive and for us to continue to make smart moves and continue to develop our guys the right way and continue to rally our community around us so that we can build a staying power in a program that's going to take over not only the West, man, but really be a force in all of college football.
Sean, final one for me is a little bit to follow the question there from Alan, where you have, Chris Johnson who gets drafted. San Diego State, this was on social media, I know you saw it, has had this pipeline like DeMonte Casey out of the Inland Empire, gets to the league. He's spent a long time there. Darren Hall is still in the NFL. I guess the general question is, what has it been like for you and your staff to recruit Southern California, knowing how many players are coming out of the state, specifically the southern part of the state, and not just having success, at the college ranks, but at the next level as well?
Yeah, we're spoiled, right? And I've talked about this, way back when we first got the job, but, you're only going to be as good as the players that you're able to bring into your program, and having elite talent so close to your campus is always an advantage. So we are spoiled with the proximity that we have to talent. I mean, some of the young guys who have flashed, part of the early enrollees who are here are 2 local guys with Carson Deal from La Jolla and then Cam Purnell as well from Lincoln, right? Like, these guys stepped in and they're showing maturity beyond their years. And again, they're right here in our backyard. So whether it's, San Diego County up into the IE and all of Southern California, we're going to make our hay there. And that's where, our hometown heroes need to stay home and be a part of what we're building and the program that great young men have put into well before we got here, right? And that have established a tremendous foundation that we feel very humble and very fortunate to continue to steward, today and into the future. It starts with Southern California recruiting, and that's where our majority of our staff is right now as they're out of the office, making sure that we're keeping our top talent home.
Coach, final one for me as well. What are you most excited about for the start of the Pac-12? What are some things that we don't realize or we're not behind the scenes? What are you most excited about?
Yeah, I think the national recognition is absolutely huge, right? When you say Pac-12, that hits different. And so the national stage that we get to showcase our city, our university, and most importantly, our young men on, right? The experience that they're going to have because of this brand exposure being linked to the Pac-12. Obviously, the day-to-day the experience that they'll have, as well as we're continuing to elevate their day-to-day experience around them here. I'm really excited about that as we go. And then, we spent a couple weeks ago, we had our first Pac-12 head coaches meetings, and to be in the room with all those great men and, the caliber of their coaching and obviously the talent that they have on their rosters. And I'm excited to compete day in and day out. And then I'm really excited to see kind of how the flex scheduling plays out at the end. I think it's going to position our league to make sure that the champion and our top teams are best positioned to go get a spot at the CFP and to have a place in the college football playoffs.
Coming off a 9-win year, Sean Lewis entering year 3. Again, season tickets available right now to see the Aztecs at Snapdragon, a great building for college football. You can grab them right now at goaztecs.com, starting at just $175 per ticket for the upcoming season. Great home schedule, by the way, including James Madison, a team that was in the college football playoff just a season ago. Sean, appreciate it. Travel safe this evening. We'll see you out here at Naughty Barrel.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Go Aztecs.
Great stuff from Sean Lewis, San Diego State, heading into year 3. Yeah, he had an offense at Kent State that averaged 49.8 points per game. That's a lot of points, right? 50 points a game. And he's had some amazing offenses. This Colorado offense with Shedeur Sanders his first year, the first 4 games, they're scoring 40-something points a game.
You got to give the man, and I think we obviously are, but it's give him a second to get the program where he wants it to be.
Sure.
Look at the difference between year 1 and year 2.
Yeah.
It's something that you mentioned, too. I mean, I think if you're out there, and you don't have to be a San Diego State alum or anything like that, but think about that. If you can get season tickets, or you could target 3-4 games where you could take your family this year, I do think his vision is not only realistic, but I think it's so important for the city of San Diego. If SDSU football is incredibly competitive and one of the teams that got a shot at, obviously winning the Pac-12, we got to do our part too and support them. So let that play out come September.
And by the way, the football team's success plays into the basketball team's success and the women's basketball team's success and the baseball team heading into the Pac-12 playing Oregon State. They've won 3 national championships in the last 20 years. I mean, it starts with football for an athletic department and San Diego State for it to reach its full potential. We can talk to J.D. Wicker about this at 5:30. Obviously, you need to have that strong foundation with football, and they're coming off that 9-win year.
And I would make the argument it starts on a show 3 to 6 p.m. I mean, that's where I would say.
I agree with that.
How does this city run without a good, solid 3 to 6 show?
It's ran pretty well. All right.
Relax there. Okay?
J.D. Wicker will join us coming up at 5:30. We're at Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitos, here until 6 p.m. We'll get back to the Padres. Again, J.D. Wicker is joining us at 5:30, here until 6. Schaefer and Slewa, San Diego Sports 760. We're live on the iHeartRadio app. Prince Lewa, San Diego Sports 760. JD Wicker is going to join us coming up at 5:30. A lot of Aztec fans in the building. This is the Naughty Barrel in Rancho Penasquitos. We're here. Look at this. JD Wicker's made it at 5:20. Well, you're going to join us. Does that work? 9-10 minutes? All right.
Whenever you're ready.
JD,
ready.
you've met Alan before, by the way.
Yeah, we've met before.
Alan Sliwa, JD Wicker. We're just talking to Sean Lewis, your football coach. We'll talk some Aztec athletics. It's been so quiet. He's probably just been vacationing for the last few months. If there's one thing we say about college athletics, it's just so quiet.
Yeah, there's nothing.
It just keeps getting simpler. And right, if only
all the athletic programs. It's just so easy now.
Well, we were just saying to Sean, and we'll say it to JD, and now he's listening to us, that it does start. And JD will touch more on this. San Diego State's athletic department needs their football program to be as successful as possible. That starts with Snapdragon Stadium and having the fan support that Sean has talked about, that JD has talked about. They're coming off this great year. They have a very good home schedule in general. There are high expectations going into the Pac-12. But people, I don't know if they fully understand that. When football is successful, this is influencing their basketball programs and the baseball and the softball programs. Every program at San Diego State, the university, is impacted by the success of football.
The trickle-down effect.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, listen, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who don't know that and don't understand that. Right. And it's up to us to kind of help educate why the football program can have such an effect on everything else that they're doing. And clearly the program is heading in the right direction. So just look at these last 2 years. Look at under, obviously, Sean Lewis, and it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Pac-12, the makeup of the league is exciting. I think the idea of being in a league with programs like Oregon State and Washington State, look at the basketball programs playing Gonzaga.
Sure.
Each and every year, home and home with a program like Gonzaga. I think the Pac-12 is really intriguing. I think San Diego State's well situated from day one, considering the success Sean had last year, to put themselves in a position where they can compete from day one. Flex scheduling is unique. The final game of the regular season will be determined based on what's played out around the league. That's unique. And JD touched on that with me like a week ago. I'm just talking to JD without him being on the air right now.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, why don't you go in?
Doesn't it feel like each of these programs because I think this will also kind of raise the stakes, because I'm sure a lot of Pac-12 schools now all think, hey, maybe we could compete in this conference.
Right.
Hey, maybe we could put together something special. They don't have to, just hypothetically. I mean, you could look at a lot of these schools that are in the Power Five or whatever the case is. And I mean, how does UCLA feel every year that they walk in right now into the Big Ten? And I'm not telling you that they're not making an unbelievable amount of money. I'm not telling you that it was the wrong decision. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm telling you is that does UCLA walk in thinking they can win the Big Ten in basketball or football at this point? I mean, I don't think basketball, but
yeah, but even that has been impossible.
Even that has been a complete challenge.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I don't know if I made it with you recently or where I made this point. It's like in college athletics, people get really excited about like, my team has a huge TV deal. Like that's a big talking point. Like I go to Rutgers and we're in the Big Ten and we're getting, I'm making it up, $70 million, and you at Wake Forest are getting $30 million. And I'm thinking to myself, do you really care that Rutgers is making a lot of money, or do you care if Rutgers is good? And that's what I would say about San Diego State. Would you rather have San Diego State make a lot more TV money, or have the memories of some of the football success under Brady and Rocky and Sean here recently, or the basketball success under Steve Fisher and Brian Dutcher? Do you want more money, or do you want to have a level of success?
In a perfect world,
you want both,
right? And I think there's I'll look at this as, a San Diegan. I'm sure a lot of people kind of feel the same way. Have there been times over the years in the Mountain West Conference that you felt you wish the competition was different?
Right.
Do you wish that you were walking into Snapdragon and you had one of those squads in the Pac-12 that you were going up against?
Sure.
I think you did.
You're playing Washington.
Yeah. You're playing. By the way,
Arizona.
I was going to say, don't even give me Washington. Right. Give me Arizona.
Arizona State.
Give me Arizona State. Give me an Oregon State.
Yeah.
Like I do think there's some of these schools that would have been like, hey, that's an interesting matchup. That's a funner match. Utah is an example.
Yeah.
But I think for San Diego State's got to just do the best with what they got. And I think what they have is a chance to compete in the Pac-12 every single year. Who knows what's going to happen to college football again 3 years from now, 5 years from now. Like, I don't think we know if each one of these schools, the way they're set up, if they're happy with the way things are set up. Do some of these schools love the fact that they have to travel X amount of miles to go play in whatever sport. Like, I think there's some disadvantages to the way college football looks like today, and I think San Diego State's just got to take advantage of their current predicament and situation.
J.D. Wicker,
Yep.
San Diego State's longtime athletic director, will join us live from Naughty Barrel Rancho Penasquito. So join us on the other side. By the way, the date that San Diego State officially enters the Pac-12 is 51 days from today on July 1st. So we'll talk to J.D. Wicker on the other side. We are here until 6 p.m. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760. We are live on the iHeartRadio app.
This report is sponsored by Summit Racing Equipment. The Padres are off today. They start a series in Milwaukee tomorrow night against the Brewers. The first pitch is set for 4:40. In NBA news, Wemby has avoided suspension after getting ejected last night for elbowing Naz Reid, so he will be eligible to play in Game 5 of their series against Minnesota. And it's official, the Bucks are seeking trade offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And we got two more Game 4s in the NBA playoffs right now in Cleveland with about 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Cleveland leads the Pistons 18-15. And right here on San Diego Sports 760, beginning at 7:15, we got Lakers Thunder Game 4. The tip will be a little bit after 7:30. Summit Racing has the parts, tools, and accessories to keep your ride summer road trip ready. You'll find everything for pre-trip maintenance and essentials like emergency roadside kits. Shop summitracing.com and enroll in the rewards program to get more power in every purchase.
All right, we are at Naughty Barrel Rancho Penasquitas on this gorgeous, what do you got?
Your camera.
Oh, is my camera broken? That'll happen occasionally. On this gorgeous Monday afternoon, getting ready for an Aztec Coaches Caravan event out here in North County. We're with the longtime athletic director at San Diego State, J.D. Wicker. How long have you? Yeah, it has been. It has, right?
You said a long time now.
Times. I've been here. I've been here about 9 years, but when I got here, you were AD.
Yeah, it'll be 10 years in October. October
24th. That's a good significant period of time as athletic director. You've seen obviously the building of Snapdragon Stadium under your watch, the move now to the Pac-12 conference as well. We're 51 days out from July 1st, 2026. How significant is that day coming up? And thanks for joining us here this afternoon.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the time. Appreciate y'all being out tonight as we kick off our coaches caravan. 12's awesome.
We had another event earlier, I guess last week.
People are excited. You know, this is definitely, we're taking the next step. As you think about competition-wise, better competitiveness in the league. There's not as much at the bottom of the league. So you're going to have to show up every game, every day. So we're excited about that. The linear TV partnership, some of the football games are starting to get some stuff trickling out to me. May right at the end of May, maybe 31st, somewhere in that neighborhood, we'll get all the games. And that's another great thing about our TV deal is you're going to know kick time for every game once we make that announcement at the end of May. So it's going to be some exciting opportunities with TV as well.
JD, what is it as you kind of look 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, what's your hope with the Pac-12? What do you think it's got the potential of being? Because I love what you said, and John and I mentioned this. I'm sure there's a lot of schools in the Pac-12 saying to themselves, hey, we feel like we could be competitive. We feel like we might have an opportunity of winning, getting a chance to win the Pac-12 tournament. What do you think that ceiling is for the Pac-12?
Yeah, I think the great thing about the Pac-12 is we feel that, top to bottom, we're definitely the fifth league out there, maybe fourth, depending on the sport, maybe third. And I think over the next 5 years, our grant of rights, our TV deals, the next 5 years, you've got a lot happening in the next 5 years. I think the key is to go out and be competitive, win those opportunities when they're on that national stage, and see where the chess pieces end up at the end of the Big Ten TV rights deal, the SECs, the NCAA tournament. And you may have some schools that are looking to come back west, and that's why we're staying small for the time being, 9 as opposed to 16, 18, 14, 15, whatever all these different conferences are. So we're going to go out. We're going to be as competitive as we possibly can be, invest at the highest level that we can, and continue to see where the cards fall.
J.D. Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, is with us right now on Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760, home of the Aztecs. We were just touching on this. I'm sure you agree. The football success is beneficial, obviously, for the football program, but it's beneficial for the athletic department as a whole. Can you speak more to what Sean Lewis's team success means for athletics at San Diego State?
Yeah, to be perfectly blunt, at this point, football is the place where we can drive the most revenue. Our fan base has to show up for football. The San Diego community has to show up for football at Snapdragon Stadium. 6 opportunities this year. Season tickets, I think, start as low as $175. You're going to have plenty of opportunity at lower prices because we've heard from people to get into the building. But if we're going to continue to grow our revenue, to stay competitive with the Oregon States, the Boise States, much less everybody else, our fan base has to buy football tickets and they have to show up, and the community of San Diego has to rally around this football program. We are the football program in this town. I realize there's others that play football, but we play Division I big boy football.
What does it mean to the program if over the next year or two, your vision kind of comes to life as far as San Diegans saying, you know what, we're going to buy up those tickets, and we do believe in what the football program is doing, and we do believe in Sean Lewis, and the product is exactly what we were hoping for. how can that change things if all of a sudden you come to Snapdragon Stadium and you do have a sold-out place? What give me the trickle-down effect of what that could mean.
Well, it's a couple different things. One, it's going to bring the energy to the building. I mean, you think about Viejas Arena. Yep. Snapdragon needs to look like a Viejas and have that energy in the building, and that allows you to win games and, win a Pac-12 championship, which we think will give you the inside road to the college football playoff. And so then you're in the college football playoff, and all that does for your brand enhancement for the institution, for your recruiting, and all of a sudden, because you've got a full stadium, you've been to the college football playoff, won the Pac-12, you're getting better student athletes. So, that just continues to build upon itself. And then if people are showing up, if they're buying tickets, they're coming, they're enjoying the game, that's revenue that's coming back into our, into San Diego State athletics. And that's helping our football program continue to grow, but it also helps men's basketball, women's basketball, water polo, the soccers. Every sport benefits when we fill Snapdragon Stadium.
JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director, with us right now. Schaefer and Slee with San Diego Sports 760. JD, can you touch on the impact an expanded college football playoff could have on the non-power leagues? As in, if they do get to 16 or 24, will there be any additional increased access potentially for group of 6 leagues, or will it remain the same, as in just one of the spots would be guaranteed potentially for the group of 6?
I mean, I think if it goes to 16, it's going to be one guaranteed and then see where you fall in the playoff. I think to get to, one, I'm not a huge fan of 24. That seems a lot. That's basically the entire top 25s going to the playoff. But if it means more access for us, 2-3 teams are guaranteed a spot, then probably a lot more interested in it. It's kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
It's, it would have benefited us. You think about the last 2 times when we were really bubble teams and, we didn't get in. We were the first team out, I think, in 15, I think it was. And then this past year, we were the 3rd team out. So it would have benefited us. The NCAA is going to have to do a lot to address logistics and how you get teams to Dayton or to wherever else on the West Coast. And, if you're San Diego State, are you staying on the West Coast? Because that trip to Dayton was not great. We didn't get into after midnight, had to turn around, play the next day. So it's good, but at the same time, they've got to, work on the logistics so it is a championship experience for your student athletes.
Yeah, I love what you said, because we are just kind of looking at all these predicaments and situations in college. Like, well, how can that benefit San Diego State? We were talking about that, the 76.
Yeah, we were.
Do I think that is the perfect number? No, but if you told me San Diego State's got a better shot of getting in, then I'll take my chances. We'll see what happens with the college football playoff. As we kind of, as you look a little bit of what the football program is today, I'm curious to get your thoughts of just specifically on Sean Lewis, what he's been able to create, the culture that he's starting to create. I think as somebody, I'm a San Diego State alum, and you're looking at moments of, do I see promise here? And I think a lot of people do. So can you explain from your seat and your perspective what you see as Sean Lewis and what you expect in this 3rd season?
Yeah, I think, the big thing is a lot of what we discussed in his interviews have, totally played out. It was very important for us, for the culture that we have within San Diego State athletics, that is, Sean brought that type of culture with him, and the way he treats his staff and his student athletes, it is a real family atmosphere. Obviously, there are certain things that you have to do. There is accountability in that. And I think that's very important, in what we do with student athletes, is there is that accountability, but there's also putting that arm around the shoulder. And, those student athletes know that this staff truly cares for them. They're not just a commodity. They care about them as a person as well as a football player. By the way, he's a really good football coach. Yeah. He's able to assemble a phenomenal staff. It's an exciting brand of football. But at the same time, prioritizing winning when you have to. It's, we had the conversation about if you're up 14 points with 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter and it's Aztec fast, what are we doing? Are we going to go out and, I remember Mike Leach number of times lost games by going out up big in the 4th quarter and 3 and out with 3 straight passes, and you ran, 20 seconds off the clock. And, you look at this past year with Cal, they had that long drive in the 1st quarter. I think we were, they were up 5 or 6 minutes in time of possession at the end of the 1st quarter. We won time of possession by like 5 or 6 minutes at the end of that game. So we got up big and we did what we needed to do to win. And I think that just talks about how good Sean Lewis is. And then he's engaged in the rest of it. He's shown up at women's basketball. He's shown up at other events. He, does stuff with donors. He calls folks with season tickets. If you hadn't renewed yet, you might get a call from Sean Lewis. So you never know. So he's been phenomenal with what he's done with the program in that 360 manner. We say we want to graduate great human beings, and he's the perfect person to do that.
Final one for me, for our listeners, is can you put in perspective the success of Snapdragon Stadium? Some of these events that you're procuring, like friendlies before the World Cup in San Diego, Olympic soccer, not like a match, 11 matches, including semifinals in 2028 of Olympic soccer. There's so much else out there as well. How successful has Snapdragon Stadium been, and what has it meant for San Diego State?
We built, our goal was to build a great facility for the community of San Diego, and we've done that. San Diego State delivered on this facility for the community and all of the events that we wanted to bring in. So it's doing a great job generating revenue. If you're a season ticket holder for the Aztecs, you usually get first right of refusal for these events that come in. So another one of those perks for being a season ticket holder for football. So, and it's the right size, amenity wise. There's no building in the country that's better than Snapdragon Stadium. So it's been such a win for us and such a win for this community. We have people coming in all the time to look at it from all over the country. So I've got a tour on Wednesday night. I won't share with who, because I don't know if he wants people to know he's coming, but it's an athletic director at a P4 institution who's coming to tour our facility because he's heard so many good things about it.
Obviously, it's housed SDFC and San Diego Wave perfectly as well. Yep. So it's hitting on everything, every objective that you could think of. A final one for me as well. I want to go back real quick because you said something I thought that was really interesting about the Pac-12 and what you think it could potentially be down the road. You don't have to give any details or any of that stuff, but is there, from your perspective or from your seat, some of the schools that are now just kind of scattered across the country, I can't imagine that there's a majority of those schools that love the way it's set up. Like I don't even know if I have a question here, but it's more, I see your point of what you were saying that, hey, eventually, yes, people there was some panic mode and everybody just kind of went wherever they can. How sustainable is that? Like, how sustainable is that look?
I've heard multiple Power 4 athletic directors in the last couple of weeks talk about how this is not sustainable right now. What's going on, and the CSC ruling today in arbitration certainly, hopefully, helps bringing things back to maybe the middle. But again, we want to make sure we've got to be competitive first. We've got to show out and go and show that we are a competitive league, that we can compete with the big boys, and that'll make it easier for people to look and say, okay, Pac-12 is somewhere where I think I can go. I compete at that highest level, and and have those opportunities. And it's a much more reasonable, experience for our student athletes at that point.
San Diego State football gets underway September 5th. Its first game wearing a Pac-12 logo on its uniform will be September 5th against Portland State. Their following home game is against a team that was in the college football playoff last year. James Madison will be at Snapdragon September 19th. And as J.D. Wicker told you, season tickets are available right now at GoAztecs.com, starting at $175 per ticket in 2026. J.D., great to see you.
Yeah, real quick.
Yeah, what do you got?
Two things, if I can. Yeah. Baseball wrapped up a share of the regular season championship this past weekend. They've got 3 games left on the road. Win one of those 3, they're the outright champions. So the turnaround for Kevin Vance in year 1, amazing. Hopefully we'll go into the conference tournament, the 1 seed, and see what we can get done. Getting back to an NCAA regional would be awesome. And then our men's golf team heads to the NCAAs next week. 26 out of 27 years we've made the regionals under Ryan Donovan. Harry Takis is nominated for the Haskins Award, which is the Heisman of golf. He's also on the international team, the Arnold Palmer Cup. Golf tournament, and I can't believe I can't think of the international golf tournament at the end of the year in September.
Ryder Cup.
There we go.
Look over there. 'Cause I'm not, if you're looking at me for somebody.
So Arnold Palmer Cup. So, I mean, men's golf is doing what Ryan Donovan and that crew does on a regular basis, winning. Baseball, so excited for them. And then our other first-year head coach, Nico Vanell, in women's tennis, won the regular season, the conference tournament, and we're so close to beating UCLA in the first round of the NCAA. So we're having a great spring and proud of all that our teams are doing.
And real quick, I have a hot take on men's golf, which is oftentimes they've been successful and then shipped across the country to play in NCAA regionals, but this year they'll stay in the West, which seemingly provides maybe a better opportunity. And of course, the national championship is hosted right here in Carlsbad, right?
Yeah, their goal is the goal is that it's going to become like the permanent home, kind of like they have Omaha for baseball,
which is amazing.
Oklahoma City for softball, because you don't get thunderstorms or snow or amazing heat.
I see a cloud. I saw snow earlier. I thought. JD, great to see you. Thank you so much for saying
so much. Appreciate you being here today.
JD Wicker, San Diego State's athletic director. Again, tickets for Aztec football on sale now at goaztecs.com. We'll wrap things up on the other side. Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760.
Since 2014. It was Kent State 2014, year 3. So year 3 there, year 3 here. And they ended the year
Right. Final time here, Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. What a day. Naughty Barrel, Rancho Penasquitos. This has been fun. It's got an Aztec Coaches Caravan event coming up tonight. We've talked to Sean Lewis and J.D. Wicker. Brian Dutcher will be in the building coming up as well. We're doing another down in Chula coming up in a couple of weeks. And it's nice to get out in the community.
Confirmed on that one? Are we good?
You know what? I don't know if we are.
Okay.
I don't know if we are
All right.
confirmed, but I'm just gonna say it. I'm
All right.
speaking it into existence, Alan.
I'll tell you right now. Because you brought it up to me. You're like, hey, what do you think if we're? I'm like, I'm in.
Which is what I love about you. You're like, let's find a way. Like,
but
sporting event. Let's get out in the community. I mean,
this is
for you and I, we can get out. Just bounce around. We got the equipment.
Today was right. This is kind of a little bit of a unique day because we kind of got the ability to be wherever we want. I don't know if this is a little bit dangerous. Is it not? I mean,
here's the deal. I'll come over to your house tomorrow. We'll do the show from there.
Yeah.
You come over to me on Wednesday. We'll do the show from there.
Well, I have half of Best Buy in my trunk, right? The equipment wise.
Alan has everything. It is truly incredible. He breaks out like I'm like, man, I could really use something to prop up my laptop. And then all of a sudden I look at his laptop and he's got this
crank just coming up.
I kid you not.
Yeah,
it is
we got
amazing the things that you travel with.
Here's why. Let me just very simple.
It's
and you
smart.
and I both have done this, right? We do YouTube, we do radio. I like to be out and about. So if we can, wherever you are, to continue working. Like, I love working. The only thing I don't like is when I have to be somewhere. Like, sometimes, we're in the studio, right? It's great. The studio's good. It's located right in Mission Valley. Like, it's a good location.
It is.
But I like freaking being out, too.
Right.
So there's a little bit. You got to have everything. What
Well,
do you need? You
I'm
need avocado
excited
and a
for
screwdriver?
you. Have everything. You really do.
MacGyver over here.
I'll tell you what I am excited for.
Yeah.
July 1st, the relaunch of the Pac-12. September 5th, the season opener for San Diego State. This fall, San Diego State men's and women's basketball.
Yep.
The baseball
Manny
program.
Machado hitting over 200.
I would
You're
love to
excited
see
about
that.
That's
I'd love to see
that's
that.
coming.
What else? I'd like to see Fernando Tatis Jr. hit the ball in the air between the yellow foul poles,
So not
and it
where
go
it could've-
over the
got it,
wall.
got it.
That
Over
I
the
think
wall.
would be pretty neat. I
Yeah.
think neat would be the right word on that. I'd like to see him do that about.
You know what
42
else I'd like to
times.
see?
What's that?
SDFC grab a couple of wins this week. Am I asking for
Yeah.
too much?
Hey, we're asking for a
too
lot,
much.
though.
I don't think we are.
No, I agree. By the way, SDFC is due. I will speak it into existence right now. One of those two matches, if not more, they're winning. Right? It's ending this
Of course.
week. It's ending this week.
No question.
That's
I've said
ending
that, by
this
the way,
week.
3 weeks in a row.
I see Brian Dutcher, by the way, making
you
his
go.
way in. Longtime Aztec head coach Brian Dutcher making his way in. That year 10 for Dutch coming up on the Mesa. Name someone around the country that has had that type of success, and he's done it right here at San Diego State. He's coached the national championship, 7 NCAA tournaments in 9 years for Dutch. Pretty good.
Dutch, too. It's like he's got this. He's like the definition of I make no excuses.
Yep.
Roll up my sleeve, and we'll figure it out.
We're going to figure it out.
Right?
Yep.
You and I, every time we come on air, we have excuses galore. Like, how many excuses?
Every day.
Every day. No, Dutch definitely has that. We'll say this, again, you've been a part of the program now for a lot longer, just doing all your shows and the broadcast and everything else. I feel great about where SDSU athletics is going,
Right.
And it's not that they haven't, I mean, obviously they've accomplished great things. We've taught the resume you just built for Dutch, but JD was talking about this with the football program. You mentioned it before JD sat down.
Yeah.
Like, the football program needs to be your pillar for everything else.
Has to be.
And everybody's got to be involved. Like, it can't just be San Diego State athletics doing everything they can to put together a competitive team. It can't just be, hey, buy tickets if the team is 3-6. No. Everything's got to obviously align. But if the football program is good, we got to obviously do our part. And enough of this just alum stuff. Like, if you're a San Diegan, you can get out there and try to hopefully watch some good football and watch a good program.
Yeah, I do like that's a really good point because in a city like San Diego, where you have a lot of people that have come here for various reasons, weather, military, jobs, lifestyle.
Yeah.
You want to, supporting San Diego State, you don't have to be an Aztec.
Of course you don't.
You don't, you know what I mean? It's not like, I'll give you an example. I'm an alum of Penn State. It's in smack dab the middle of Pennsylvania.
Sure.
If you're there, you probably went to Penn State.
Sure.
There's no one there
Yeah.
other than people that went to Penn State. Here is one of the largest cities in America and one of the more spectacular cities.
Yeah, and I hope what they end up, and he was kind of mentioning a little bit of this, there is a piece of this where if you can just get out and experience Snapdragon, if you haven't done it yet, go out and experience it. Go take a couple of your kids to a game. Like, we had somebody just coming up here to come say hello, and he said, I took my kid to the Cal game. I hadn't been out there. It was a great experience. Like, that's got to be part of it as well. It doesn't just have to be just about the football program. Go spend an afternoon out there or an evening.
Is that the music?
No idea.
I think it is.
I hear some music.
All right.
I hear some music.
Brent, appreciate you back there. And again, for our listeners, we're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. on San Diego Sports 760 from our studio. If you missed anything today, like our conversations with Sean Lewis or Kevin Acee or JD Wicker, you can find it at sportssd.com or on the iHeartRadio app. Back tomorrow at 3. For Sneezing, Coughing, Alan, and Brent, I'm John.
Thank you.
This is Schaefer and Sliwa, San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. See you tomorrow. Peace.